It's awful quiet tonight, ain't it, Mike?
Yeah, but I don't mind. Drive around another 2 hours, call into headquarters, and somebody else can have this patrol car for the next shift. Me, I'm going to bed.
Nice houses on this street, huh?
Well, they're big, say that for 'em. People live in them, got lots of dough, say that for 'em.
Yeah.
How'd you like to live in a house like that and on the corner?
Yeah, not bad. Afraid Maggie wouldn't like it, though. Too many rooms to clean.
Ah, she wouldn't have to worry about that. Servants, pal. She'd have to have a mess of servants.
Yeah, you don't know Maggie. She wants to do everything herself. I never saw anything like
Hey, Eddie,
it.
look.
Where?
Coming out of that big house we just passed. 2 guys. They're shoving guns in their pockets. Stop this heap. We're getting out.
Right.
Come on.
Right with you, Mike. Get your gun out. Looks like we're in for a little action. Hey, you two, stop! Stop or we'll shoot!
They aren't stopping.
Let's let them have it.
All right. And they got the same idea first. See how they like it. They're only half a block away. We'll grab them, Eddie.
Won't have to grab both of them. One of them's hit. Look, he's staggering.
Yeah, but look at the other guy. He's got his gun against his buddy. Hey, don't!
He shot his own pal. How I'd like this shot to get him.
My turn.
We're both missed. He makes that car that's parked there. We're sunk.
Well, he's made it all right. And there he goes.
All right, let's go back and get our crate. We can chase him.
Now, let's take a look at this buddy of the guy got away.
He's done for. Through. Take a look. Ever see him before?
Nope. Oh, get the people starting to come around. All right, everybody, get back. Go on home. Go to bed. Take a look for identification, Eddie.
Right.
All right, look, everybody. Nothing's going on. The show's over. Go on. Get back to bed. Get back to bed, will you?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah?
We got a real mystery on our hands. First 2 guys stick up a place, then one of them kills the other guy, and look what I found in the other one's pocket. A piece of paper. All it's got on it is 2 words. Live on. Now, what's that mean?
Mr. Parker, boss.
Don't bother me, Larry.
I don't bother people, Mr. Parker. I do just like I'm told all the time. All the time.
Well, do what you're told. I told you not to bother me.
You sore at me, boss? Sore at me?
Of course not, Larry. I'm just trying to work out some instructions for our next job. Matter of fact, I'm very pleased with you.
Oh, thanks,
You
boss.
did very well last night, robbing the Hilton home and shooting Joe when the cops hit him.
I'm glad you liked it, Mr. Parker. Joe would have started talking if the cops grabbed him alive. He was hit in the leg and couldn't keep going, so I knocked him off. I done right.
You most certainly did. Now, just hold everything momentarily, Larry. I'm not sending you on the next job. I've got other friends, you know.
Oh, sure, I know, but ain't the cops got your phone tapped? That's what you said.
Well, they suspect I'm in back of these private home holdups, Larry, but they can't prove anything. And while they can tap this phone, they can't trace whoever it is I'm calling. That's impossible on a dial phone.
Yeah.
The message for tonight is hole pin.
Whole pin.
That's right. Take care of things just like we planned, will you?
Don't give it another thought. So long.
Goodbye, my friend. Good luck to you.
Hey, gee, boss, you're smart. Really smart, I mean.
Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you very much. But I have help. A great deal of help. And from the most unexpected places and people.
And then, Mr. Vance, the paper goes on to say that the robber who killed his accomplice is being sought by the police.
We expect to make an arrest shortly.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Vance. How did you know?
Oh, I'm smart, Miss Williams. Didn't you know?
Gosh, Mr. Vance, I've only been working for you for 3 months. You can't expect a girl to know everything in 3 months.
No, I guess not. I think, though, that...
Miss Williams, Vance.
Oh, hello, Mr.
Well,
Markham.
hello, Markham. I've rather been expecting you. Miss Williams was just telling me about the mysterious message found in the dead hold-up man's pocket.
That's why I'm here, Vance. I'd like to talk to you about the whole thing, if I may.
Well, come right into my private office, Markham. Can't have the district attorney of our fair city flaunting a furrowed forehead to the world at large. Gives the town a bad name. In here, please.
Thank you, but I'm not worrying about this town getting a bad name. I'm worrying about someone giving me a rather bad time.
Sit down, Markham, please. And let's have your problem.
Right, Vance. As you must know, there have been quite a few hold-ups of fashionable parties in the past few months.
Yes, I've read about them. In fact, you and I have discussed them from time to time. Casually, of course. But you mentioned the police suspect of Mr. Edward Parker.
We do, but Parker's clever. He has 2 or 3 stooges he sends out on the jobs. But let's take that robbery last night up on 58th Street. The one where one of the thieves shot his buddy after the police had wounded him.
What about it, Markham?
We found a slip of paper in the dead man's pocket, Vance. It said just 2 words. Live on. Then we intercepted a message Ed Parker was telephoning to someone. That message said, hole pin. Those words have some kind of meaning, I'm sure.
They most certainly have, Markham. A very definite meaning.
Not to me.
I just want a second to make sure of what I'm saying. That robbery last night on 58th Street, was it at number 4360?
Yes, but the papers all carry that.
I didn't remember it from the papers, believe me. Now I think I can tell you where the next robbery will take place.
Oh, no, Vance.
Yes,
no.
my friend. Of course, I'm not sure exactly when it will take place. But after I make a phone call, I think I'll be able to give you that information, too.
But, Vance, what you're saying is ridiculous. You can't possibly know that.
No? Well, I think I can. Just have the police at 2540 138th Street and see what happens. Yes, Markham, that's where the next hold-up attempt will be made.
I'm so happy you're having a good time, Mr. Davis. I'm so glad you're enjoying yourself. Incidentally, there's young Alice Morton over at the refreshment table. Wouldn't you like to join her?
Definitely, Mrs. Blake.
I thought you would. Everybody, can I have your attention, please? At some particular time at every party, the hostess feels it her solemn duty to make an announcement. At the moment, duty calls. I think you'll all be glad to hear that we have with us that distinguished pianist, Dmitri Rabov, who has consented to play a few selections. Mr. Rabov. For his first number, Mr. Rabov plays the Rachmaninoff Prelude in G minor.
Okay, you at the piano, hold it! Everybody stay still and nobody move. There's a stick-up. Lock the door, Jimmy. Cut that out, lady. Cut it out or you'll never do no screaming no more. And don't none of you guys get brave all of a sudden. All of you got too much jewelry on. My friend here's got a big bag he's going to put in the center of the floor. Go ahead, Jimmy, out. Now. That's it. All you guys and dames, one at a time, starting from my left, dump your rocks into that bag. And don't hold out or I'll come get 'em myself. Hey, you fat dame. You start it off. That's a go.
Open up this door. Open it up. This is the police.
Hey, it's the cops. Come on, Jimmy. Out them French windows and step on it.
Stop them, somebody!
Don't let nobody try it. That's what they get if they do. All right, bust through them French windows, Jimmy. Let's get going.
Open the door, somebody! Let the police in!
There they are. There. Which way they go?
Out the French windows. They might still be in the garden.
Okay, lady, come on, Eddie. Let's get after them. They're around anywhere. We'll get them.
Coming. Yes?
How do you do? I'm Philo Vance. You're Mrs. Blake?
Yes, I am. Please come in, both of you.
This is District Attorney Markham, Mrs. Blake.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Won't you gentlemen come in and sit down?
We're not going to stay very long, Mrs. Blake. We just wanted to speak to you about the party in your house last night.
It was terrible. If the police hadn't arrived, every one of my guests would have been robbed.
If Mr. Vance hadn't told us that there'd be a robbery attempt at this address, the police wouldn't have arrived so conveniently, Mrs. Blake. But we'd like a description of the men who held up your guests.
Now, let's see. They were both average height. The one with the gun had a long, thin nose and a cut under his right eye.
Uh-huh.
The other was, well, just an ordinary-looking person.
I see. Mrs. Blake, I understand your position in the social world, and I imagine that this was rather embarrassing to you.
Well, it would have been under ordinary circumstances, but there have been several attempted hold-ups at parties recently, so I don't feel too badly.
What we want to know is whether you recognized either of the two men, Mrs. Blake. Had you ever seen either one of them before?
I'm quite sure I didn't. They both wore masks, but from their general appearance, I'm certain I'd never seen either one.
We thought that perhaps they might have been servants employed either by you or some of your friends who were victims of previous robberies, Mrs. Blake.
I doubt that very much. Is there anything else, gentlemen?
I think not, Mrs. Blake. Thank you so much for your kindness.
It's quite all right. Please drop in again if you like. Only let's make it a less formal visit.
Well, thank you.
We may do that, Mrs. Blake. At least one of us might do that. That one of us being me.
I'd be glad to see you at any time, Mr. Vance. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Blake.
What's getting into you, Emily? You going crazy?
No, I don't think so, Ed. Why?
Why? He gave Vance and Markham a perfect description of one of my boys. You'll blow this racket of ours sky high before we really get started.
You're such an alarmist, Ed. I didn't tell them anything they couldn't have gotten from any of the guests who were here last night. What'd you want me to do? Give them a false description so that the trail would lead directly to me?
I'm sorry, Emily. I guess I didn't think of that. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about before Vance and Markham got here.
I think we'd better talk about what happened when Vance and Markham got here. We can't use that code anymore, Ed. Vance has already broken it.
How do you know?
Markham said that Vance knew the holdup was to be here. They've tapped your wire, Ed, heard you give instructions in Cipher, and broke the code.
That Vance is too smart. Maybe I ought to take care of him.
Maybe you shouldn't have started with him.
How'd I know he'd be called in on this case? There weren't supposed to be any murders, you know that. Larry killed Joe and the cop's bullet got him, but we didn't plan on that.
No. But in order to be successful at anything, Ed, it's well to be prepared for emergencies. Nothing ever goes entirely according to plan.
Well, our next job ought to. Where's it going to be?
Let me see. I have the invitation right here in my desk. Mr. and Mrs. Cornelius Worthington requests a pleasure. Let me see. Tomorrow night. That's it, tomorrow night at the Worthington home. And if I know Celia Worthington, she'll have everybody who means anything in this town at her house.
Good. This time we don't fool around with codes or with anything else. This time I do the job myself. Larry and I.
I like that. That means there'll be only 3 ways to split. You and Larry and me.
2.5 ways. We'll cut Larry's piece down to a half of what he's supposed to get. He never knows what he's going to get.
You know, Ed, I think we ought to give a little thought to Philo Vance. He might give us trouble.
Him? I don't think so. Let him interfere with this, and he won't know what he's going to get either.
This is District Attorney Markham. The Cipher murder case opened with the shooting of a hold-up man by his own accomplice. In the dead man's pocket was found a code message which Vance succeeded in breaking down, to such an extent that when I told him we had tapped the telephone wire of a Mr. Ed Parker and heard him say, "Hole pin," Vance immediately gave the address of the next hold-up attempt. We were able to thwart that effort as a consequence, but had no idea where the gang intended to strike again. It is for this reason that I'm calling on Vance, whom I expect to find in his office. Vance, where are you?
In my private office, Markham. Come right in.
I'm on the way. How are you today, Vance?
Very well, which apparently is more than I can say for you. What's bothering you, Markham?
This Cipher case, Vance. We've continued to tap Ed Parker's phone, but we've gotten nothing from him that even resembles a code.
I didn't imagine you would.
You think he knows we've succeeded in figuring out his code?
I'm reasonably certain of that.
Just because the police broke up that holdup at Mrs. Blake's the other night?
That's only one reason, Markham. But the others aren't to be discussed right now.
Vance, you know the police broke that code Parker used. It took them some time. Yet you figured it in less than a minute.
I'll explain that to you, Markham, but not now. Right now, I'm wondering where that holdup mob will hit next, and how I can find out.
Well, they seem to be concentrating on gatherings of the elite. Strictly social stuff.
Really? Well, then the chances are that Mrs. Emily Blake would be invited to the next affair. And she did invite me to call on her, remember, Markham?
Yes.
I think I'll accept that invitation, my friend.
I see. You intend to get her to tell you when the next big social event will take place and perhaps ask you to accompany her. Vance, you're a very resourceful man.
That isn't the only reason I'm doing it, Markham. Don't forget, Mrs. Blake is a very charming woman.
Julia, hurry with my hair. I don't have all night, you know.
I know, Mrs. Blake. I won't be a moment. I've laid out all your jewelry on the dressing table. You can be ready in a moment after I get finished.
Well, then hurry up and get finished, why don't you? I'll get that myself. You stand in back of me and finish my hair while I'm talking.
Very well, madame.
Hello?
Emily, this is Cornelius Worthington.
Cornelius! Don't tell me I'm that late that you called to find out what was delaying me.
No, not quite. Emily, dear, there's a change in plans about the party tonight.
Oh?
Yes, one of the children's ill, and they've quarantined our house.
Oh, how dreadful, Corny.
We called the Applebys, and they're going to have our party at their house. Come there, won't you? I've got a dozen people to call, so I've got to cut this short. The Applebys are at 651.
651?
131st Street.
131st Street.
You don't mind, Emily?
Oh, it's perfectly all right, Connie. I understand. Toodaloo.
Oh, I'm finished, Mrs. Blake.
Oh, good. Now, hand me that telephone.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wait. There's someone at the door. Here, call this number and just give them this message. The message is Bop Pip.
Bop, Pip?
Yes, do it right away, will you? I'll get that door myself.
I'll do it, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Coming. Good evening. Please come in.
Good evening, Mrs. Blake. Why, you're staring at me. Is anything wrong? Is it the white tie or the topper?
It isn't either, Mr. Vance. Only you seem to look as if you belonged in a white tie. That's rather strange attire for a private investigator, isn't it?
Yes, but at the moment I'm not working at my chosen profession. You did invite me to call, didn't you?
Why, yes. But I'm going out tonight.
I thought you might be, hence these evening clothes. May I go with you?
Well, why not?
Thank you. By the way, Mrs. Blake, you look quite charming.
Thank you. My wrap, Vance, it's over by the chair.
Of course. Here you are. Beautiful shoulders, Mrs. Blake. Beautiful.
I'm going to run out of thank yous. But I warn you, it'll be long after you run out of compliments.
Perhaps. Where are we going, or shouldn't I ask?
We're going to a party.
Oh?
It was supposed to be held at the Worthingtons, but it's over at the Applebys. That won't bother you any.
We're still going.
Of course.
It won't bother me any. Shall we go?
Vance, I think you're the most charming man I've ever known.
That, Mrs. Blake, speaks eloquently for my conceit and very badly for the other men with whom you've been. Are all social parties this dull?
No, only the ones I've been to.
Score one for the distaff side of the combination. You know, I think we're getting along rather well.
I'm glad to hear that. We were, as far as I was concerned. But I'll have you know that when you walked into this room, every woman in the place turned to stare at you.
I didn't notice.
Used to that sort of attention, Vance?
Immune to it. Tell me, who is everybody here?
Well, let's see. That's Appleby Jr. over there. His dad owns mills or something. And next to him...
Mrs. Appleby?
Don't be naive. That's Celia Worthington.
Oh.
Mrs. Appleby is over by the piano with Cornelius Worthington.
Cozy, isn't it? What happens when it comes time to go home?
See that light switch next to you?
Yes.
At midnight, somebody turns that out, and everybody rejoins the partner he came here with.
No wonder people are looking so strangely at us. Tell me more about the others.
Well, there's Montgomery Todd over there.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Todd is the tall man looking vaguely around the room.
And Mrs. Todd?
Well, she's the one Montgomery is looking vaguely around the room for. She's the thin woman over by the palms at the other end of the room. Very wealthy.
Isn't everybody here?
Practically.
Okay, everybody. Don't anybody do anything except what I tell them, and nobody will be hurt.
Another robbery.
All right,
Sort of an
quiet.
epidemic lately, isn't it?
Now, look, all of you, you've all got jewels. They're probably all insured. Now, we want them, and we don't want any trouble getting them. I want all the men to turn their backs. The lights. What happened to the lights?
Hey, boss, there's a trap. Let's get out of here fast.
Hey, come on, let's get out.
I guess I can turn the lights on now, don't you think, Mrs. Blake?
Oh, you acted very quickly, Vance. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, too, Mrs. Blake. Perhaps you didn't act as quickly, but your acting was very good just the same.
Markham speaking.
Markham, this is Vance. I've just left Mrs. Blake. The party we were going to switched addresses at the last moment.
Yes, I know. My men found only servants home when they went to cover the Worthington house.
2 men just tried to hold up the guests at this party, Markham. I slipped away to call you and report.
Oh, glad you did. Sergeant Heath found out where the party was. He just called in to say he picked up 2 men who were fleeing from the Appleby mansion. Come on down here, Vance. I'll have them here in a few moments.
I'll be there, Markham, and I'll bring Mrs. Blake with me. I'm quite sure she can supply all the identification we need. Right in here, Mrs. Blake, if you will. This is District Attorney Markham's office.
This is all very distasteful to me, Vance.
I'm sorry, but it has to be done. Please come in.
All right.
Just a moment, please. Just a moment. Hello, Vance. Glad you're here. Good evening, Mrs. Blake.
Hello, Mr. Markham.
Mrs. Blake, we picked up these 2 men as they were running from the Appleby house an hour ago. Can you identify them as the men who tried to hold up the guests of the party?
Well, no. No, I can't.
They're the men who tried to hold up tonight's party, Markham. I recognize them.
Thank you, Vance. I guess that's all we need. We can take them in and break up the mob that's been preying at society functions.
Do you have all of the mob members, Markham?
We have Parker here. He's the one whose phone we had tapped. And Larry Dayton, that's the short individual in the corner there. We think he's Parker's number 1 helper. There may be 1 or 2 others, but we'll get them.
I'm quite sure you will. You might as well have everyone connected with the thefts, Markham. For instance, you might take this very important member of the gang, Mrs. Emily Blake.
What's...
I? Mr. Vance, you can't mean
Are
that.
you sure, Vance?
Quite. And I can mean that, Mrs. Blake. I can do more than mean it. I can prove it.
I'd like nothing better than to relax at the end of a case, Vance, but we've gotten confessions from Mrs. Blake and Ed Parker, and I'm still not relaxed.
Markham, what's the trouble?
You know, I told you the police broke that code that Parker was using, but never explained it to me. I want to know first how you broke it, and so quickly.
Oh, that. Well, let me see. The original code message found on the dead man was, "Live on," right?
Yes.
And the robbery the dead man was fleeing from took place at 4360 58th Street.
Yes.
The letters in the words "live on" became the numbers 4360 and 58, Markham. By use of a code word, each letter becomes a number. That's why when you intercepted Parker's message about hole pin, I was able to tell you the address of the next attempted stick-up.
But how could you have broken the code so quickly?
The minute I saw it, I knew it as well as I knew my own name. In fact, it was my own name,
Your own name? What?
Philo Vance. The P was 1, the H 2, the I 3, the L 4, and so on.
Well, I'll be darned. They picked your name. I wonder why.
2 reasons. 1, it was known to everybody involved. And 2, they never thought I'd be called in on a mere series of robberies.
Well, that brings me up to the question of Mrs. Blake's guilt, Vance.
That. Well, it started because I believed there had to be somebody on the inside tipping off the gang as to where these parties were being held.
Uh-huh.
I didn't suspect Mrs. Blake until after the robbery at her house when, in an effort to divert suspicion from herself, she described one of the masked thieves too well.
How do you mean, too well?
She said he had a cut under his eye. Now, if he had worn a mask, and we know he did, she couldn't have seen the cut. That got me to thinking. And then I learned that Cornelius Worthington was giving a party. I went to him and got him to switch his party to the Appleby's house.
Why?
Well, Worthington was to wait at his home and escort every other guest to the Appleby's personally. There, the guests were to be told the phone was out of order. But Worthington was to call Mrs. Blake and tell her about the change in plans for the party.
Oh, I see now. Then when the party was held up, it was only Mrs. Blake who could have been in touch with Ed Parker to tell him the new address.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Anything else, Markham?
I think not, Vance. I do think that lack of funds and a desire to maintain her social position must have put Mrs. Blake in the middle of this situation.
I imagine so. But let's forget her and the middle of this situation. Let's realize we've reached the end of the Cipher murder case.
The makers of Raleigh Cigarettes present John Emery, star of the Broadway success Angel Street, as Philo Vance in S.S. Van Dyne's murder mystery, The Case of the Cellini Cup.
Good evening. I am Philo Vance, occupation criminologist. And tonight I'd like to tell you the adventure of the Cellini Cup. As I pieced this fantastic and incredible story together later, it started something like this. In the East 70s of New York City, deep in the gloomy shadow of the 3rd Avenue L, is a dingy little second-hand store called the Old World Curio Shop. It's about 10:30 at night. The front of the store is filled with the usual miscellaneous rubbish, but in the back there's a good workshop. There's a light on there. The man is hunched over a workbench repairing the enamel on, of all things, a cloisonne elephant. This man is Paul Getman, about 43, rather heavy-set, oily complexion, little pig eye, smug and self-satisfied, but a clever workman. An unpleasant man, but then he hasn't long to live, although he doesn't know that. There's a discreet knock on the door at the front of the shop. Oh. He gets up and walks through the store to the door.
Oh, it's you. What do you want? Well? Hey, put that gun down. Someone's liable to get hurt. Wait a minute. Take it easy. What are you going to do? No, you don't dare. You can't get away with it. That's murder. For God's sakes, don't do it. Well, why don't you say something? What are you waiting for? I know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for the elevator train. You're waiting for the elevator train to drown out the shot. Well, I got burglar alarms here, and I'm going to...
Philo Vance will be back in a moment. But first, you know when a friend of yours gets a new house, you naturally want to go and see it. Well, an old tried and true friend of yours, Raleigh Cigarettes, is living in a brand new house, and you really ought to see it. Because Raleigh's new house protects you by protecting Raleigh's. How? This new house is an exclusive new package which gives up to 400% more protection than the package on other leading brands. This means that Raleigh cigarettes come to you factory fresh, never harsh and bitter, always rich in flavor and fresh. Smokers, you'll thank me for this if you follow my suggestion. Make your next pack Raleigh's, America's freshest cigarettes. And now, here is Philo Vance to tell you the story of the Cellini Cup.
Thank you, Mr. Shirley. Well, to explain how I got involved in this, John F.X. Markham, the district attorney, is an old friend of mine, and bright and early the morning after Getman was murdered, much too bright and much too early, Markham came over to my apartment and dragged me over to the Old World Curio Shop to view the mortal remains of Paul Getman. Sergeant Heath of the Homicide Squad met us at the door, a businesslike frown on his broad, pugnacious features, and gestured toward the body.
Well, here he is, shot through the heart. Doc Baker examined the body and pulled a .32 slug out of him. I would have bet my shirt it was a .45. Made a big hole going in.
So it did, Sergeant.
No signs of a struggle. Who found the body, Sergeant?
The patrolman on the beat. The burglar alarm went off and he came running. Looks like Getman set it off himself. There's a button right here on the counter, and we found Getman's thumbprint on it.
Look at this, Markham.
What's that, Vance?
This utterly atrocious tie Getman was wearing. Imagine the embarrassment of being caught dead wearing a purple horror like this.
I thought it was kind of snappy.
Sergeant, you distress me. I've never seen you out of your uniform, but I'll wager you're a panic.
Now, Vance, let's not get into a discussion of what the well-dressed corpse should wear.
Calm yourself, Markham. What have we here? A little circular bit of charred cloth. Must be a clue, eh, Sergeant?
I already seen it. I figured whoever came in here to bump Getman off hid the gun under something. Maybe a handkerchief. And when he fired, this piece of cloth was blown off. Figured that out myself. Not bad, huh?
Sergeant, you've been going to night school. Suppose you tell us what you found out about the late Mr. Getman.
Okay, he was in his early 40s. He owned this shop. He did repair work on fancy art objects for the museum and art dealers, and he was pretty good at it, I guess. He had a little apartment at the Windsor Arms, and that's about all. Hey, looks like a customer at the door. That's his second today.
Markham, isn't that George Henry Howard? Yes, it is.
The art collector?
Yes, but there's more of the collector than the artist in him. Before the war, he traveled over Europe sweeping up statues, porcelains, tapestries, and so on like a vacuum cleaner. Between George Henry Howard and William Randolph Hearst, the museums on the continent were left looking a trifle seedy.
Let him in, Sergeant.
Okay.
Well. Mr. Vance, isn't it?
How are you, Mr. Howard?
Fine. Never better, thanks.
Mr. Markham, our district attorney and champion of justice.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Markham?
And Sergeant Heath.
How are you?
How do you do? Is Mr. Getman here?
Yes, but he's not speaking to anyone.
He was murdered last night, Mr. Howard.
Murdered? Really?
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's too bad from my standpoint as well as his. I wanted to buy a group of items in here. Will his death interfere with selling them?
Well, that would depend on whether there were any heirs and so on.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, there seems to be a few pieces of some value in this case. Let's see, there's the triptych, a cloisonne vase, a copy of the Cellini Cup, this beautiful German horizontal clock with hunting scenes in relief, circa 1600, I'd say.
And quite right you are, Mr. Vance. By the way, Mr. Markham, I'd like to put a deposit of, say, $4,000 on the contents of this case just to ensure my getting it. I'd top any bid by $250. Could I do that?
Well, we'll have to take that up after the investigation is concluded.
All right, fine, Mr. Markham. Thank you very much. If I can be of any help.
Thank you.
But all right. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Vance.
Goodbye, Mr. Howard.
Bye. $4,000 for that stuff? I could do better at the 5 and dime.
Yeah, worth about $2,000. Oh, Sergeant, you mentioned another customer.
Oh, yeah, before you got here. A man by the name of Hans Hendricks. An art dealer, he told me.
Oh, yes, the Hans Hendricks Galleries on 57th Street.
Anyway, he came to pick up an art object Getman was repairing for him. He had a receipt for it, so I let him in to make sure it was here. But I didn't let him take it.
Oh, I'll answer it. Maybe my office.
Well, What do you think of this, Sergeant?
Oh, I got a theory. When there ain't no clues, I always say what the French say. Cherchez femme. Cherchez femme.
Cherchez femme, eh?
Yeah, in French, it means look for the dame.
Oh, thank you for the translation, Sergeant.
That's okay.
That was the office, Vance. Swacker tells me they got the license number of a car that was seen here last night. Well, now we've got something concrete to work on.
I have nothing very exciting to do this afternoon. Suppose I take this gentleman and scholar, the incredible Sergeant Heath, and the two of us will trace that license number to its lair.
It's like I tell you, Mr. Vance. You don't have to be no genius to solve murders. All you do is ask the right people the right questions.
Providing one can find the right people.
Well, we sure got a lot of information so far. The owner of the car rented it to a guy named Tony Carpini who lives in Queens.
Yes, and this Carpini had a date last night with a girl named Norma Allen who lives in Flushing.
Cherchez femme, huh?
She'll be in Mr. Markham's office tomorrow morning.
I'll pick up Carpini and we'll ask questions and solve the murder.
You make it sound delightfully simple.
Yeah, it's a cinch. I guess I know how to figure these things out instinctive.
Sergeant, you've been most instructive.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, now, let's get on to the Hans Hendricks galleries. I'd like a few words with Mr. Hendricks.
Please sit down, Mr. Vance and Sergeant Heath.
Thanks.
Now then, I'm at your service.
Well, Mr. Hendricks, I'm looking for one of your messengers in connection with the Getman murder. A guy called Tony Carpini.
Ah, so. Unfortunately, he is no longer in my employ.
You mean you fired him?
Yes, this morning. So you are looking for Tony, eh? I'm glad I got rid of him.
If I'm not too inquisitive, Mr. Hendricks, why did you dismiss him?
I did not trust the man.
And, of course, you had excellent reasons for not trusting him?
He had quite a temper. Just lately, he was very surly. Not a man to trust with a gun.
A gun? Did he carry a gun?
My messengers often deliver valuable pieces. I believe I saw in the papers that the bullet was a .32.
Yeah, that's right.
You may be interested to know that Tony's gun was a .32. I have it here in my desk.
Well, right in your desk. Now, that's convenient, Mr. Hendricks.
He turned it in when I discharged him. Yeah, there you are, Sergeant.
Thanks. I'll just take this along.
Where did Tony keep the gun? After work, I mean.
In his locker with his uniform.
I presume he had a key to the delivery entrance?
And he could get in at night if he wanted to?
Easily.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks, Mr. Hendricks. Oh, say, before I go, my wife wants an extra chair for the living room, and I noticed that one by the door as we came in.
The sergeant sat in it, bounced in it, slumped in it, and finally decided he and the chair were soulmates. It's that carved chair with a needlepoint upholstery.
Of course. I know the chair.
How much are you asking for it?
It is priced at $575, I believe.
Holy cow, I can get the same thing at Ludwig Bauman's for $31.75. Well, thanks again.
Not at all. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, Mr.
All right.
Hendricks.
Now we're really getting somewhere. And without none of that fancy psychology of yours either, Mr. Vance. That guy Hendricks was pretty helpful.
Wasn't he, though? Almost too helpful. Well, what's the news this morning, Markham? You look like the cat that swallowed the canary and went proudly around hiccuping feathers.
Well, Vance, Sergeant Heath's out tracking down our man now. I told him to bring him in as soon as he located him.
And who is the man?
I never thought I'd hear Philo Vance ask that question. You usually know who the man is.
So nice of you to say so, old fellow.
You know, Vance, a gun scratches its individual signature on bullets that leave the barrel. So we compared the bullet that killed Getman with a bullet fired from the gun that messenger, Tony... here it is. Tony Carpini. The bullets match perfectly. Looks like he did it.
My dear Markham, it only proves that a bullet fired from his gun brought about Getman's untimely demise.
Vance, you're splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs is a hobby of mine, Markham, old boy. A hobby that I thought I shared with all members of the legal profession.
Yes, Mr. Markham.
Send Miss Allen in.
Yes, sir.
Ah, that would be our femme fatale, the Cleopatra of Flushing. From Swacker's voice, I'd say she left him goggle-eyed. Ah.
Oh, come in and sit down, Miss Allen.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm Mr. Markham, and this is Mr. Vance, a sort of special assistant of mine.
A pleasure, Miss Allen.
Likewise.
We'd like to have you tell us what happened the night of the murder.
Well, I had a date with Tony, and we drove around a little, and then we parked, and he started talking about me going out with Mr. Getman. He got sore, and I told him that we would have to consider our acquaintanceship at an end because I had become engaged to Mr. Getman. Gee, I've only been engaged 8 days. I didn't even get a ring.
And what was Tony's reaction to the news of your engagement?
He was wild. He was mad. He threatened to kill me and Paul. That's Mr. Getman. So I asked him to be so kind as to take me home.
Yes, what time was it he brought you home?
About 7:45. Oh, he did it all right, Mr. Markham.
Oh, thank you very much, Miss Allen. And now...
Just a moment, Markham. Miss Allen, how long have you been, dating Mr. Getman?
Oh, about 4 months, I guess. I met him when Tony had to deliver something to his shop to be repaired after hours, and he took me along. Paul fell in love with me at first sight. I'm considered very attractive by men.
Well, obviously. And you liked Mr. Getman very much, I presume.
Oh, indeed. Indeed, yes. I've always wished to travel, and he was going to take me to South America after the duration of the duration. Paul knew lots of important people, too, if you know what I mean.
I'm afraid I don't.
Well, like Mr. Howard, the art collector. Paul took me to one of Mr. Howard's cocktail parties. Gee, it was swell. Nobody was there who wasn't somebody.
Vance, don't you
Just be
think...
patient a moment, Markham.
I even talked with Mr. Howard himself in person. Oh, he was swell. And he showed me some of his collection. You know, etchings and things. When I told him Tony worked for Mr. Hendricks, and I knew all about art from what Tony had told me.
I see. And you and Mr. Howard got along very well together?
Oh, sure. I told him all about Tony and I and Paul, and he laughed and laughed. I was a big hit at that party. Gee, I guess I'll never get to travel after what Tony done.
Oh, I imagine another man will come along and be blinded by your charms, Miss Allen.
Yeah, I suppose so, but maybe he won't be no gentleman like Mr. Getman.
Hey, will you stop shoving me around?
Tony.
Here's Carpini, Mr. Markham. He was out on the town last night, but I grabbed him when he came back to his room. Had his bags packed and was all ready to skip town.
Tony, what did you do it for? What did you do it for? You spoiled everything.
I didn't kill him.
You did, too. You said you were going to.
Shut up, will you?
I hate you. I'll never give you another date.
Will you shut up? I tell you, I didn't kill him. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
You did, too. You're a murderer. That's what you are, a murderer. Oh, he hit me.
Cut it out, Carpini. Let go of me. It's her own fault. She started it.
Take him away, Sergeant.
Okay, Mr. Markham. I guess he's a man, all right. What'd I tell you, Mr. Vance? Church femme? Church femme? Come on, Carpini. Oh, nuts.
Here, use my handkerchief, Miss Allen.
Oh, gee, thanks. You're awfully nice to me.
Not I, Miss Allen. Some other gentleman.
Well, Vance, are you convinced now?
Not entirely, Markham. So I think I'll trot along and see if I can comb a little information from George Henry Howard.
Are you going now?
Yes, Miss Allen, but before I depart, I think you may be interested to know that Mr. Markham is a bachelor and a very eligible gentleman. Confidentially, he's fascinated by you.
No kidding. Why, Mr. Markham.
Vance, what's the idea?
Bye-bye, Markham.
Oh, sit down, Mr. Vance.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. A very pleasant den you have here.
Yes, I like it.
I see the cases along the walls are filled with the ripe fruit of your continental travels. Some beautiful things.
You like them, eh? Well, when I saw something I wanted, I got it. Of course, these cases represent only a fraction of my entire collection. Now, these two curved swords are nice. Krises, they're called. I picked them up in the Malay States 10 years ago. Sharp as razors.
And an exquisite pair of old dueling pistols. I suppose they are dueling pistols, aren't they?
Oh, yes. I got them in France. Beautiful inlaid gold work on them. And you'll notice they're identical in weight, shape, trigger pull, everything. Had to be, to make the duel fair.
Amazing. And I suppose these little cloth patches are for cleaning the guns.
That's right. That's quite right.
Well, what have we here in this case? It looks like a copy of that Cellini cup in the Metropolitan Museum.
Yes, it's a good copy, too.
Yes, it is. You have a whole case of ivory figurines, I see.
Mm-hmm. I collected them for a while. Only a few of them have any real value.
By the by, Mr. Howard, I came to ask about Hans Hendricks. You've had dealings with him, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
You see, Getman's murder is pretty well pinned on one of Hendricks' messengers. It was his gun. Please don't repeat this, but it occurred to me that Hendricks also might have access to that gun.
Oh, I see.
Do you happen to know whether Hendricks and Getman got along all right together?
Well, as far as I know. Of course, Hans is a shrewd Dutchman, and he's an art dealer, too.
I gather your opinion of the integrity of art dealers is not too frightfully high.
You never can tell, Mr. Vance. You never can tell.
Well, thank you, Mr. Howard. You've been most helpful. Well, Tony, nice cell you have here.
Don't be funny.
Tony, I'd like to ask you a question or so.
Yeah? You trying to help me?
Yes.
What's your angle?
Well, Tony, I'm of the opinion that jail is an unhealthy place to be. If you answer a few questions, I may be able to help get you out.
Okay. What have I got to lose?
Did Mr. Hendricks know about your trouble with Miss Allen and Getman?
If he did, I didn't tell him. He might have found out from Getman, though.
That's right, too. Did Mr. Hendricks ever give you anything to deliver to Mr. Howard?
Yeah, a couple of times. And that Mr. Howard is a right guy.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, you see, I delivered a vase about a week ago, and there was a party going on. Mr. Howard was pretty tight, and he spilled 2 drinks he was holding all over me.
Oh, Mr. Vance.
Just a moment, Sergeant. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, he took my clothes and gave me one of his silk bathrobes to wear and had my clothes dried while I sat in the room. Then he gave me $10. I thought that was okay.
Now, Sergeant?
I found out if Mr. Markham was in his office like he asked me to. He is all right.
Thanks very much, Sergeant. You're a noble custodian of the law. I'll go right up and see him. And thank you, Tony. Don't worry too much.
Vance, for heaven's sakes, what did you bring me here to the museum for?
Stop fretting, Markham. I wanted to lift you out of the hurly-burly of your mundane world, far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife, and to transport you to the cool halls of this temple of art.
What sort of nonsense is that?
Once in a while, you've got to get away from jangling telephones, noisy courtrooms, and intellectuals such as the good Sergeant Heath. You've got to get away and enter this world of beauty and quiet and romance. Look at the Etruscan shield in this case, Markham.
Yeah, very nice.
What stories it could tell. How many heroes buckled it on and strode bravely into battle shouting some barbaric cry. Yet here it is today, still full of beauty. Ah, here's the Cellini cup. Remember, there was a copy of it in that case in Getman's shop. Benvenuto Cellini, artist, writer, swordsman, adventurer, the gay lover of the Renaissance. And over here...
Now, Vance, you're not going to take me on a conducted tour of the Metropolitan Museum, are you? I've got work to do.
All right, Markham. I have a few things to do myself. But if you and Sergeant Heath will arrange under some pretext for Howard and Hendricks to be at the Old World Curio Shop 2 hours from now, I'll turn over the murder of Paul Getman to you at the conclusion of a short lecture.
While Philo Vance is preparing to expose the murderer, Paul Getman, may I take just a moment to speak about freshness and its importance in cigarettes? That's why Raleighs are living in a brand new house. Raleigh's new house we speak about is a scientifically developed, highly protective inner lining that seals the Raleigh package. Protects Raleigh's more expensive, more golden tobaccos against flavor-stealing dryness. Preserves Raleigh's full, rich, satisfying flavor. This extra safeguard provides up to 400% more protection. Yes, Raleigh's goodness is sealed in because dryness is sealed out. And this extra protection ensures Raleigh's perfection. Next time, get America's fresher cigarette, Raleigh's. And now here's Philo Vance.
Well, Howard and Hendricks put in their appearance at the Old World Curio Shop on the dot of 8 with Markham and Sergeant Heath. Howard was his usual jovial self, but Hendricks was quiet. And it seemed to me a little suspicious. I had chairs arranged around a table, and seated Howard and Hendricks with their backs to the showcases. Markham tossed the conversational ball right into my lap.
Mr. Vance will explain this meeting to you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Well, you both have something you want to get out of this shop, and knowing how complicated the legal machinery that Mr. Markham so valiantly protects is, I persuaded him to settle the whole thing tonight and save both of you the inconvenience of waiting for Getman's fares to be settled. Mr. Hendricks, I believe there's something of yours here in the shop that Getman was repairing for you.
A large Cloisonne elephant.
And, Mr. Howard, you wanted to buy the contents of one of these showcases, didn't you?
That's right, Mr. Vance. Getman and I had already agreed on a price of $4,000.
Which seems more than fair to me. It's amazing, isn't it, how a small piece of lead can complicate the lives of a lot of people? Tony Carpini didn't simplify matters for either of you.
Then he's the one who did it, huh?
That's right, Mr. Howard. Church femme.
I didn't know I had a man like that working for me.
Funny, I always thought he was a nice boy.
Well, I don't agree with Sergeant Heath's cherche femme theory, as he calls it. I think the motive was robbery. There was one item in this case that Tony might have thought represented a fortune in itself. Just a minute. It was this item right here. Look, a copy of the Cellini cup. This is what lured a man to the depths of murder. But it never will again because I'm going to smash it to pieces on this table.
Don't do that. Don't, you fool. Stop. That's the real cup. That's the original. Stop it, you idiot. You're smashing one of the greatest treasures in the world.
Sergeant Heath, you may arrest Mr. Howard for the murder of Paul Getman. Well, Markham, the Admirable Curry has just informed me that he will serve dinner in 3 minutes.
Vance, you irritating so-and-so. Sit down and tell me how you knew Howard murdered Getman. His confession clears Tony, but there's still a lot of things unanswered.
Well, there's no point in my being coy with you, Markham. Where shall I begin? Why did Howard kill Getman? His confession explains that, but suppose I put it in order. A. Howard was a wealthy art collector who wanted something he couldn't buy. The Cellini cup that was in the museum. B. Getman was a clever goldsmith who did repair work for the museum. He had access to the Cellini cup. C. Howard bribed Getman to make a copy of the cup and substitute it for the original. But D. Getman made 2 copies, substituted one for the original, which he kept, and sent the other copy to Howard, who, E, for exterminate, decided to kill him when he found he had been double-crossed, and did.
Yes, Vance, I know all that, and it isn't necessary to talk to me as though I were a child.
Yeah, I'm not at all sure about that, Markham.
Oh, go on. What about the bullet from Tony Carpini's gun, matching the one that killed Getman? Stop giving me the story in driblets.
Well, at that party Miss Allen went to, she mentioned to Howard that Tony had threatened to kill Getman, and Howard realized he had a perfect fall guy, shall we say. He ordered some items sent from Hendricks, and then Tony delivered it. Howard spilled the drinks on him. With the pretext of drying his clothes, Howard got hold of the gun, took it to the basement, fired several shots into something that wouldn't destroy the markings on the bullets, then cleaned the gun and replaced the empty shells.
Yes, but how did he shoot Getman with that bullet?
Oh, very simple. Howard owned a pair of muzzle-loading dueling pistols, and he loaded one of them with the bullet from the gun. Remember that charred piece of cloth that was near the body?
Yes.
That was used to tamp the powder down. And remember Sergeant Heath remarked about the hole the bullet made? That it was large, and he'd guessed the bullet was a .45? Well, the .32 bullet was a little small for the gun, and it wasn't going straight when it hit Getman.
Howard was an ingenious devil, wasn't he?
Come, Markham, don't give him all the applause. Save a little for me.
All right, you too are an ingenious devil. But what made you suspect Howard?
A number of things. First, my suspicions were aroused when he offered twice as much for the contents of that case containing the Cellini cup as they were worth. Then it seemed strange that a man of Howard's position would invite Getman and his lady-love to one of his parties. Of course, though, they were partners in crime.
Yes, that seemed odd to me, too.
It bothered me, and I dropped in to chat with Howard about it. Saw the dueling pistols and the little cloth patches, and also discovered to my surprise that he already had a copy of the Cellini cup. Why should he want another?
So you took another look at the one in Getman's shop, found it was the original, and dragged me over to the museum where you saw a copy in place of the original.
Excellent. An astounding piece of deduction, Markham. I exchanged the cups with the full cooperation of 2 dazed directors of the museum, then pulled the psychological rabbit out of my hat.
But why did you have me bring Hendricks over here to the shop, too?
Well, there was a possibility that Getman might have gone to Hendricks with the cup, hoping to sell it to him and get some money in addition to what Howard had already given him. Who knows? Perhaps he did. And Hendricks had access to Tony's gun. But I was sure that a man who was willing to risk his life and reputation for that cup couldn't sit quietly and see it smashed in front of his eyes.
Vance, you're an amazing person.
I'm also hungry. Come, Markham. I see curry signaling that dinner is served. I hope the chicken tetrazzini is good. Catching a murderer has given me quite an appetite.
Raleigh cigarettes are protected in a way that no other cigarette is protected. Raleigh's live in a new house, a revolutionary new package that keeps them factory fresh. Raleigh's special package provides up to 400% greater protection than the package on all other leading brands against loss of freshness, loss of flavor. Why not smoke the cigarette you know is fresh? Raleigh's, America's freshest cigarette. Next week at the same time, the makers of Raleigh cigarettes will again present Philo Vance to tell you and your friends another exciting story. A story he calls The Mystery of the Singing Cat. The part of Philo Vance was played by John Emery. Tom Shirley speaking. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You see, Vance, our office doesn't handle only murder cases. Sometimes, as in this one, the case is a little less physical, but still, it's interesting.
You don't have to convince me that being a district attorney isn't dull, Markham. This Joe Somer whom we're going to see, just what is the charge against him?
His partner is accusing him of grand larceny.
Oh?
I happen to know Somer pretty well, and before an indictment is handed down, I want to talk to him. I liked him. Quiet, always considerate. Nice of you to come with me, Vance.
I'm glad of the chance to get out of the office.
Good.
Well, this is the street you said Somer lives on. This house should be that one.
There's a crowd around that house, Vance. Something's happened.
No doubt about that, my friend. Let's find out what. Oh, there's a police officer over there, Markham.
Yes.
Let's find out about this.
I'm with you, Vance.
Hey, stop shoving, will you?
Pardon me. Sorry. Excuse me, please.
Get back, everybody. Get back there.
Hello, officer. I'm District Attorney Markham.
Oh, sure. I recognize you, Mr. Markham. It's quite a thing we have here. Fellow lives here. A man named Joe Somer jumped or fell from the roof of his house.
What?
He was dead when he hit the ground.
Joe Somer, Markham. That's the man you wanted to see.
Not right now.
It was suicide, all right, Mr. Markham. Almost hit a couple of people when he jumped.
That's awful.
I found a suicide note in the house. There wasn't anybody home, but the note was right where I couldn't miss it when I went in. I'll turn it in with my report.
All right, officer. Well, Vance, I promised you a case. All right, it looks like it's over before it even began.
That, my friend, is a matter of opinion. Perhaps there is no larceny case, but I have an idea that instead of it, we're going to have a murder investigation.
Hi, Miss Henderson. DA in his office?
Yes, he is, Sergeant. He's on the telephone, though.
Well, that's okay. He'll want to see me.
No, but I'll let you know as soon as something develops. Bye. Hello, Heath.
Hi, DA. Just got a report on that suicide note found at Joe Somer's house.
Yes?
Completely legitimate, DA. We had our experts check the writing. There's no question but that Joe Somer wrote it.
He wrote a suicide note and apparently jumped from the roof of his house.
What do you mean, apparently?
Well, Philo Vance thought it might be murder.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
That guy thinks everything is murder. I'm waiting for the day when there's a murder case that he'll say it's suicide.
You'll have a long wait, Heath. Vance doesn't often make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes, DA. Even I do.
Not you, Sergeant Heath.
Yeah, me. And if I can make 'em, I guess Vance can make 'em once in a while, too.
The possibility is there, undoubtedly.
Well?
The only thing is, I can't ever remember Vance being wrong for any length of time.
I don't imagine I'll be too long, Mrs. Sommer.
All
Thank
right.
you for letting me use this desk.
It's quite all right, Mr. Vance, but just what are you writing?
Nothing, really, just scribbling. Are there any more pens in this house?
You've tried all of them that I could find, including Joe's fountain pen. What's the big idea?
I won't know whether or not it's a big idea until later. Right now,
Oh, there's someone at the door. Excuse me.
Oh, go right ahead, Mrs. Sommer. Please don't let me disturb you.
Any more than you have, you mean? Yes? Oh, Mr. Dale.
Mrs. Sommer, may I come in?
Why, yes. Yes, of course. I have company, as you can see.
Oh.
Philo Vance, the private investigator. Mr. Vance, this is Alfred Dale, my husband's partner.
How do you do?
Hello, Vance.
It took Joe's death to get you over to our house, didn't it, Mr. Dale?
Well,
Too bad you didn't find time to come here while he was still alive.
Mrs. Sommer, I assure you,
Excuse me, please. Mrs. Sommer, I'm finished with those pens.
All right.
Now, can you tell me what your husband was doing on the roof? I'm trying to find out if he deliberately went up there to commit suicide or if he got the idea while he was on the roof.
He left a note, the papers say. Doesn't that indicate he went up there to jump?
Not necessarily. And I believe I was asking Mrs. Sommer.
Oh, sorry.
When I left the house yesterday morning, Vance, I asked Joe to fix the radio aerial on the roof. That might have given him the idea.
Yes, it might. May I go up and see the roof?
If you like. Wait till I throw a coat over my shoulders and I'll go up with you. Might just as well see the place where poor Joe jumped.
Like to come up, Mr. Dale?
All right.
This way, gentlemen. Up these steps to the second floor, then we go up through the attic to the roof.
Lead on.
There's a light at the top of these steps. I'll turn it on. You gentlemen might have a little trouble in the attic. There's no light there, and I'm afraid there are a lot of trunks lying around.
There are in practically every attic.
Go right ahead, gentlemen. I'll turn on this light.
After you, Dale.
Certainly. Very well. You know, there's something about this procession reminds me of the 3 little Indians.
Isn't that 10 little Indians?
Not after 7 of them were killed.
You're perfectly right, of course.
Careful now. It's pretty dark up here.
Indeed it is.
Just walk straight ahead, Mr. Dale. There are a few steps leading up to the roof.
You know, there are times when I...
Oh!
Sorry, I must have kicked one of your trunks.
It can stand it. Find the steps all right, Mr. Dale?
Yes, right here. Oh, good thing you brought your coat, Mrs. Sommer.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Well, so this is the roof from which your husband jumped, fell, or was pushed to his death.
Pushed?
My husband killed himself, Vance. There, see, there's the aerial I told you about. Look over here on the other side of it. You see where there's new wire around the insulator?
Yes, I do. Apparently, your theory was right, Mrs. Sommer.
I imagine so. Well, what else do we do now that we're up here?
Not a thing. We've done everything I wanted to do. But what's more important, I've found out everything I wanted to know. I'm just about to go to bed, Markham, but I thought I'd call you and report what happened today at the Somers' house.
You know, I'm very anxious to hear. What'd you find out?
Well, first of all, I met Joe Somers' partner, Alfred Dale.
You did?
We went up to the roof.
What? Vance, what's happened? That was a shot. Vance, are you there? What happened?
It's all right,
Vance,
my friend.
Good.
I'm lying here on the floor, out of reach of any second bullet. Besides, there's no light in the room now. Somebody fired at me from the fire escape and got the lamp instead.
But, man, how can you be that calm? Somebody just tried to kill you.
Yes, I know.
And that means you were right. That Somers' death wasn't suicide, but murder. And the murderer was just close to you.
That isn't the only thing the shot meant, Markham. It also meant that I am very close to the murderer.
You're a smart dame, you are. Your husband knocks himself off, and what do? You come running to me.
Tony.
What is this, a playground?
Tony.
Tony. What do you expect from me?
Oh, Tony.
Think I'm going to knock myself out crying? Now get smart. You're cute and I like you, but keep away from me for a while.
But I don't understand why.
You don't understand why. I'll tell you why. You inherit a lot of dough. That special clause about suicide in your husband's insurance takes care of you. Me, I'm a mug. All right, so you go for me. So the cops find out. So what'd they say?
What can they say?
What can they say? They can say, I knocked off your old man so I could get you in that dough.
But Tony...
But Tony me for now.
So, there she is. I finally Got you two to get him.
All right, now, Lila, take it easy.
So this is the dame that took my place. I was hoping I'd find her here. I'm going to turn her inside out. I'm going to...
Out. Now, you heard me. I said out.
Oh, no, you don't. I don't get rid of easy. Nobody's moving in till I get ready to move out, and I'm not ready yet.
No, get out of here, Lila.
Why? Because you slapped me?
Come on.
You slapped me before and I stayed. What?
Yeah.
Stop pushing me.
When I say out, I mean out.
Tony, you'll be awfully sorry about this.
Sure.
I'll make you remember it. Tony, let me in. Let me in.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I guess Lila's got a temper.
You guess she is. You're a pretty good guesser. I'd hate to think what that girl would have done to me if you hadn't stopped her.
Right now I'm thinking about what she's going to do to me because I did.
Now, look, Markham, you listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
I don't doubt that, Miss...
Just call me Lila. I'm going to hand you the murder of Joe Somer. Hand him to you right on a silver platter.
That's all very well, Lila, except that indications are that Somer committed suicide. He left a note.
I don't care what he left. I know a guy who wanted him dead. Just fool around with that.
Wishing someone were dead rarely is fatal to a victim.
Huh? Well, Tony didn't only wish. He gets what he wants. And he wanted Mrs. Somer. Joe Somer was in the way. Tony got rid of him. I don't know how, I just know he did.
All right, Lila. Let's concede for a moment that you know he did. How do you prove it?
That isn't my job. You're the district attorney, aren't you?
I was when I looked last.
Oh, very funny.
Just a moment. I want to call Philo Vance.
Well, you'd be better off calling a cop and having him pick up Tony.
Up until now, Lila, I've been a pretty good judge of my own welfare, thank you.
Hello, Vance speaking.
Markham Vance, listen, there seems to be more and more confirmation of your murder theory about Joe Somer.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, Markham. Actually, and originally, it wasn't a theory, merely an idea, despite that suicide note.
Which has never been explained.
But which will be.
Good.
Now, what's the extra confirmation you called me about?
Well, there's a girl in my office.
Markham?
A girl named Lila, who is the ex-girlfriend of a racketeer named Tony Lester. She's been superseded by... guess who?
Mrs. Somer.
Oh, now, Vance.
Well, it had to be Mrs. Somer, or it wouldn't have had any connection with this case. In which event you wouldn't have called me. Reasonable?
Reasonable, understandable, and accurate. That's what it is, Vance. Now, this girl claims Tony is the kind of character who wouldn't let a mere murder stand in the way if he wanted something.
How right that is.
Please, Lila.
What?
Nothing, Vance. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
Well, I thought I'd let you know about this development.
Well, thank you. Now I'll let you know something.
Yes?
Despite the suicide note, which I'll explain some other time, I'll repeat that it definitely was murder. And I'll tell you something a little more important.
And that is?
That I also know who pushed Joe Somer off the roof.
This is District Attorney Markham. The Rooftop murder case began with the apparent suicide of Joe Somer. Vance, believing Somer was murdered, has found substantiation of his theory, despite the presence of a bona fide suicide note. Inasmuch as Vance insists it is a murder, I know we have three suspects. Tony Lester, a racketeer, Alfred Dale, Somer's partner, and Somer's widow. To continue our investigations, I have met Vance in the office shared by Somer and Dale. Well, Vance, I found the partnership papers right here in the desk drawer. Vance, you're not listening to me.
Oh, yes, I am, my friend. I was just trying out all the office pens.
Are you through now?
Now, there. You'll now have my undivided attention.
Good.
What does the partnership contract say?
That in the event of death of one partner, the other partner takes over completely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me, is Alfred Dale the murderer? I've just found his motive.
Yes, you most certainly have.
Issue properly evaded. Very well, tell me this. What are you trying all those office pens for?
I tried all of the pens at Somer's house. With the cooperation of the homicide department, I borrowed the suicide note Somer left. And I can tell you definitely none of the pens wrote that note. In fact, I don't believe any of the pens in this office were used either.
But the note was definitely written by Somer.
So you keep telling me, and I agree that it was.
What's the answer? You think Somer wrote a suicide note? The murderer knew he wrote it with the intention of killing himself, but acted regardless?
Hardly.
What?
Oh, what's going on in here?
Oh, hello, Mr. Dale. This is District Attorney Mark.
How are you?
We've been using your office.
So I see.
We have a search warrant, Mr. Dale. It's entirely legal.
a little embarrassing. You'll have to admit that, legal or not.
Mr. Dale, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about any embarrassment that might be caused you in this office.
What do you mean?
Yesterday, when you and I and Mrs. Somer were on the way to the roof, the attic was very dark.
It was that.
You were in the lead, but you avoided a trunk that I promptly bumped into.
What? Yes, that's true, now that I recall it.
Mrs. Somers said you'd never been in that house before, yet you avoided the trunk.
Oh, I have very good eyesight.
Or a good memory.
What do you mean?
I just don't want you to resent our being here, that's all. We do have good reason, don't you think?
I don't think I have anything to say.
That, Mr. Dale, is probably the smartest thing you've said since you came into this room.
What does that mean? That I'm due to be arrested any moment on suspicion of murder?
I wouldn't say that. Not any moment, Mr. Dale. I want to be very sure of my proof before Mr. Markham makes any arrest in this case.
Oh, but Tony, I'm sorry. You'll never know how sorry I am. I went to the district attorney.
She's sorry. She rats on me. Now she's sorry. Look, I'm getting tired of kicking you out of my apartment. Now beat it, Lila.
Now, let me stay, Tony. I won't be any trouble. Just let me hang around.
Out.
Ah, you're expecting that summer dame. She's going to be here.
Shut up, you. Don't you talk about her. Don't even say her name.
Oh, I'm not good enough to say her name, huh? I'll say it. I'll scream it so that everybody can hear.
Shut up, I said. All right, get out. Get out fast before I change my mind and start tossing you out. When are you going?
Tony, darling.
Tony, darling, you make me sick. How did I ever go for a dame like you anyhow? Sometimes I think I'm...
Okay, Lester, open it up in there.
Who is it?
Sergeant Heath, homicide. Open up.
Oh, you really did it to me, didn't you, Lila? I gotta get out of here. I can't stand a pinch right now.
Tony, I left the door unlocked when I came in.
Oh, you dope, you.
Okay, Lester, hold it. You're not going anywhere.
According to you. According to me, I'm leaving right this minute.
Hold it, I said.
Okay. Thanks for the warning shot. I can take a hint, Heath. You want me to go with you? I go.
Oh, Tony, don't.
Come to think of it, even you'll be better company than this.
Well, what is it you wanted now, Mr. Vance?
All the clippings you have on a man named Joe Somer. I don't imagine there'll be too many.
Well, if his name was ever in our paper, we'd have the clips in an envelope. You don't want the stuff on his suicide, do you?
No.
It's a good thing those clippings haven't been filed yet. T to T U T U to S S S E S E S E S U. Oh, here we are. Silly, Sabansky, Skelly, small. Oh, here we are. Somer, Joe. Here's his envelope, Mr. Vance. He feels kind of thin.
Well, I expected that. Now to see what's in it. Mm-hmm. 2 clippings, one dated 5 years ago. A little item about the marriage of Joe Somer and Dorothy Blaine. The other...
Interesting, huh?
Very. This first clipping is even more revealing, however, in the light of the second one. Listen to this first one. Introduced only 3 months ago at a beach club, Dorothy Blaine and Joe Somer culminated a whirlwind romance in marriage at the home of so-and-so last night. Couple left for a honeymoon in Bermuda.
Well, that's not too unusual.
In view of this, it is. Listen, here's the second clipping. Joe Somer, local businessman and partner in the firm of Somer and Dale, was taken to Mercy Hospital this morning, suffering from a nervous collapse.
Yeah?
According to Alfred Dale, only his fortunate earlier arrival at the office prevented his partner's suicide.
That means something, huh?
It does to me. And it's going to mean a whole lot more to Alfred Dale.
Tony!
Oh, it's you.
Tony, I waited out here on the street to find out what would happen to you.
So what?
I heard you were arrested.
You heard I was arrested. Sure, I was arrested, but I'm out.
Did they think you killed my husband?
How do I know what they think? All I know is I'm getting out of town.
I'm going with you.
Now, don't be a dope. I need you like I need a hole in the head.
You're taking me. I'm going home to pack right now. I'll meet you at the airport in an hour.
Now, listen.
You better take me, Tony. It'll be so much better for you if you do.
Look, I'm a busy man, Vance. I can't be running around town just because you call me and want me to be somewhere.
You won't be bothered very much longer, Mr. Dale.
That's good.
I wonder why Mrs. Somer doesn't answer her bell. You'd better try it again.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps she isn't home?
Did it ever occur to you that this house might be watched And if she were at home, that man across the street, who happens to be Sergeant Heath of the Homicide Department, would have told me.
But still,
Mr. Vance.
Yes, and Mr. Dale, your husband's partner. You two remember each other, of course.
Naturally.
We're coming in, Mrs. Sommer.
Yes, of course.
I really don't know what I'm doing here, Mrs. Sommer.
I don't either. What is it you want, Vance?
We want to go into the living room, for one thing.
We'll talk out here if you don't mind.
Oh, but I do.
Well,
Well, what's that I see in the living room? A trunk. Going somewhere, Mrs. Sommer?
come in, gentlemen. Yes, I was going somewhere. I was leaving town. Any objections, Vance?
Definitely. Mrs. Sommer, do you own a gun?
Of course not. What kind of a question is that?
Figure it out. You see, the person who killed your husband fired a shot at me the other night.
You're convinced that someone killed my husband?
Yes.
That he didn't commit suicide?
That's right. Dale, do you own a gun? Why, Oh, come now. It'll probably be on record if you do.
All right, Vance. I own a gun. And I carry it.
I'll take it if you don't mind.
Here you are.
Thank you. Pardon my back a moment, Mrs. Sommer.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Vance, what are you trying to do?
Stop right there, Dale. I want you to remember something for me. Just 1 second while I lay your gun down on the table. Now.
Now what?
Mr. Dale, do you recall that about 6 or 7 years ago your partner tried to commit suicide?
Yes, I do.
You left a suicide note at that time. What happened to it?
Why, I don't know.
I do. It's the same suicide note the police found in this house just after Mr. Sommer was pushed off the roof. It had to be. There wasn't a pen in this house or in your office that matched the pen or ink used in that letter. The police found the first suicide note, planted here to indicate Sommer really did it the second time.
What are you trying to prove? And if it's the fact that I murdered my husband, let me inform you that I never even knew him when he tried to kill himself the first time.
That's correct. You didn't.
Oh, I see what you're driving at.
That's good.
I took the note 6 years ago, kept it, killed Sommer the other day, and left the note here, and you thought I was in this house before when you discovered I didn't trip over the trunk in the darkened attic.
Is that what I'm driving at?
Well, it must be. But I won't stand for it, Vance. I won't be framed for murder.
Stop right where you are, Dale. Do yourself a favor. Don't make me force you to stay. Mrs. Sommer,
Yes?
you killed your husband, of course.
So you say.
So I say, and so I can prove. And you know I'm not bluffing, don't you? You knew you gave yourself away up on the roof the other day. That's the reason you tried to kill me in my apartment.
Yes. I know you're not bluffing. I realize what I did. And I realize that I've got to kill you now. You realize that, too, don't you?
Vance, she's picked up my gun.
She won't use it.
Oh, no?
Now, Mrs. Sommer...
I won't use it, huh, Vance? That's what you think.
Vance, my gun is loaded.
He knows. And he must know that I'm going to shoot both of you now.
The gun won't fire, Mrs. Sommer. I took out the bullets when I turned my back on you a moment ago. Now I'll take that gun away. Thank you. That will be all, Mrs. Sommer. All, that is, except my explaining to Mr. Markham how I knew it was you.
Well, Vance, I guess there isn't anything more to tell in this case except the most important thing of all. How did you know it was Mrs. Sommer?
First of all, we know from her confession that she found her husband's old suicide note.
Vance, please, how did you know she was the murderer?
Well, Markham, she claimed she was not at home when her husband allegedly jumped to his death.
Yes?
She said he went up to the roof to fix a radio aerial. And that's what gave him the idea to come down, write the suicide note, then go back and jump.
That was her story.
She said she hadn't been on the roof after her husband was killed until she went up with Dale and me.
Yet she knew the aerial was broken.
Well, she could have known that without going up there, Markham. A wire dangling, bad reception if a radio set were in good order, a number of ways. There was one thing she couldn't know, though.
What was that?
How it had been fixed. She walked right over to the spot where a new wire had been wound around the insulator.
Yes?
Now, the only way she could have known that was if she had been there when her husband was fixing it, or, of course, immediately after, which wasn't likely.
It couldn't have been immediately after, Vance. She had to leave the house after pushing him off the roof. She probably left by a back exit, went shopping, and returned in time to hear the bad news.
Undoubtedly. When she walked to the aerial, she knew she'd made a mistake. But she wasn't sure that I knew what she had done.
Oh?
She tried to kill me so as to be on the safe side. But then, when I let her alone for a while, she thought perhaps I hadn't noticed her error, and she didn't try to kill me again.
Yes.
I let her alone, as you must realize, because I wanted to be absolutely sure about her.
I know that. Her motive was money. Money and her love for Tony Lester.
Vance, one thing has always puzzled me about this case. You never knew Joe Somer. All you saw was his covered body the day we went up to his house. Yet, you didn't believe it was suicide even then. Why?
Something you said, Markham.
Something I said?
Something you and the police officer said, rather. You told me how considerate a man Joe Somer was as we were driving over to see him.
Yes, that's right.
The policeman said that Somer narrowly escaped hitting some people who were walking in front of his house when he jumped.
Oh, I see what you mean. A considerate man would have made sure he wasn't going to injure anyone else, even though he had decided to do away with himself.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I wasn't sure, but subsequent events convinced me I was right.
All I can say is that fortunately for us, we had you to get to the bottom of this murder.
Thank you, but that's completely unimportant. The only thing that matters is that when we reached the bottom of the murder, we reached the end of the Rooftop murder case.
Listen to me, men. Please, listen to me. I don't have to stand here on a street corner and talk to you. Nobody pays me to do it.
Okay, then what do you do?
Because I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen the same as all of you, and I want you to know the same things I know about Jonathan Graves and his political gang who is trying to steal your votes. They're crooked men, completely crooked. They're in politics for their own personal good, not the good of the community.
That's right.
Now, be sure you remember that when you go to the polls election day. That's all I've got to say. Thanks for listening.
Wait a minute, Masters. I want to talk to you.
Oh, it's you, Graves. What could you have to say to me?
There was quite a speech you made.
Thank you.
You seem to be able to influence people very nicely.
Well, I read that book you've heard about.
Don't get cute, Masters. You're a very honest, upstanding young fellow, and I'm sure we could use you in our organization.
What you mean is you could use me so that I don't fight against your organization.
That's your interpretation. Of course, there is an element of logic in it. The truth is that if you keep up these street corner talks, you're going to get a lot of people disliking us.
That's the best news I've had all day. So long.
Wait a minute, young fellow. Don't be in such a hurry to get away. It might be very valuable to you to stick around and listen a few minutes.
I doubt it. The only thing I'd consider valuable would be if you and your crooked colleagues withdrew from the election.
No, we can't do that, my boy. You know that. We've got too much at stake. It's cost us a lot of money to build up our candidates. We can't just withdraw them just like that.
In that case, we've nothing to talk about.
Oh, but we have. We have something to talk about that should be very near and dear to you. You.
What about me?
You have your choice at the moment, Masters. A choice of being a quite wealthy, silent young man, or a very definitely dead one.
Come on in, Eddie. Water's fine.
Well, move over. Give a guy room to dive.
Okay.
You want all the water in this pool for yourself?
Hello, boy. Welcome to Poolville, Eddie, old pal. I'll race you to the end.
No, Bill, I just as soon splash around a little. Relaxes me better. Whew.
little tightened up from those street corner talks you've been making, huh?
No, not particularly. And incidentally, I'm getting results from him. Old man Graves is a little worried about my activities. He heard my speech this morning.
Well, don't stop, Eddie. This town will go on the rocks if Graves and his gang get in.
No, and I know it. Only that isn't what's really bothering me.
What? What is?
You remember Joe Cates?
Yeah, vaguely. Why?
I'm worried about Joe. He doesn't like me.
He doesn't like you because his girl does. That's nothing, Eddie. Lots of guys have fallen in love with another guy's girl. Come on, let's make the end of the pool.
What?
I'll give you a couple of yards start.
Well, I'll swim there with you, but let's not race.
Okay.
I'd rather talk.
Look, talking and swimming aren't for me. Let's sit up the edge of the pool if you want to gab.
Good enough.
Okay. What's with this Joe Gates business?
Well, he came to see me last night, Bill, and he warned me to stay away from Dorothy, or else.
You think he was serious?
Yes, he certainly sounded it. I don't scare easily, Bill. We wound up in quite a battle. I finally had to clip him.
Went that far, huh?
Further. In fact, it went so far that I sat down and wrote the district attorney a letter saying that if anything happened to me, they ought to grab Joe Cates right away.
Where's the letter?
In my desk. I told Joe I was going to write it, but I didn't tell him where I'd put it.
Naturally. Well, I hope this thing's only in your imagination, Eddie.
I do, too, but I'm afraid it's not. Well, want to hop in for a swim now? Getting that thing off my chest kind of made me feel better. All right, now I'll race you to the end of the pool and back, and then we'll get dressed, okay?
You got it, Eddie. Here we go.
Yep.
Wow, look at it come down, Eddie.
Bad.
I guess old Joe Pluvius didn't think we got wet enough in the pool.
Probably. Lucky I don't live very far.
Wait with me out here, and I'll get a cab and drop you off.
No, by the time you get a cab, I'll be home in bed. All I have to do is walk to the corner, turn it, and I'm practically on my front doorstep.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Okay, Eddie, I'll be seeing you. And don't worry about Joe Cates.
I'll try not to. Hope you get that cab in a hurry.
Thanks. Night.
Night.
Oh, good evening, officer.
Well,
Awful night, isn't it?
It ain't good. Waiting for a taxi?
That's right. My friend is Lucky. He lives just around the corner. That's him walking down the street now.
Well, he doesn't seem to be too much in a hurry.
He's got a lot on his mind. Hey, officer, look.
What is it?
That fellow with a slouch hat and his coat collar turned up. Came out of a doorway and followed Eddie around the corner. I don't like that. Come on.
What the...
That was a shot, officer. Hurry.
I know it was a shot, and I'm hurrying as fast as I can. Who was this, Eddie?
Eddie Masters. Guy I've known for years. We were swimming together just now, and he was worried
Here's
about...
the corner. Let's see if he had something to worry about. He sure did. Is that him on the ground over there?
Sure is, and that guy bending over him. Grab him, officer. He's starting to run.
He ain't going to get very far. Stop, you! Stop or I'll shoot!
No, don't shoot. Don't.
Eddie.
Okay, you.
Eddie, what
I
happened?
saw you throw your gun away just now. You're coming to headquarters with me.
No, officer, no. I didn't do it. I didn't shoot him.
No, huh? Well, you just happen to be out for a stroll in this lovely weather, huh? Come on, back with me. I'll go
please,
pick up your gun and take you downtown.
I didn't do it, officer. I swear I didn't.
Why'd you run away when you saw us coming around the corner?
I was going to chase the guy who did shoot him. That's all I was going to do, honest.
Stop your lying. Let's see if your victim's friend knows who you are. How is he, my boy?
He's dead, officer.
That's what I thought. Recognize this guy I grabbed? Hold your head up, you.
Sure I recognize him. He's the guy I saw sneaking around the corner after Eddie. He's the fella Eddie was afraid would kill him, and he did. He's Joe Cates.
Hello, Miss Morgan.
Oh, Mr. Vance, please come in.
Thank you. Is Mr. Markham in?
He's in his private office. He's been trying to reach you.
Yes, I know. I phoned my office, and they gave me the message.
Is that you, Vance?
That's right, Markham.
Please come in here, will you, Vance?
Well, the command of the district attorney permits no pleasantries between you and me, Miss Morgan. Excuse me.
Of course.
Hello, Markham.
How are you, Vance?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm not sure. Sit down, won't you, Vance?
Yes, thanks.
I have something on my mind, something important.
Of course. Does it have anything to do with the trial you're conducting?
Everything. Vance, I left that courtroom today knowing definitely I can get a conviction in the state's case against Joe Cates.
And that bothers you?
Yes. Every bit of evidence points to Cates being the killer. Yet when we adjourned today, for the first time in my life, I was sorry that I'm the district attorney.
Well, this sounds serious, Markham. Tell me about it.
I'll tell you as much as I know. Joe Cates was picked up near the spot where Edward Masters was murdered, and we rushed the case to trial, as you know.
Tell me the things I don't know, Markham. Perhaps that would be easier.
All right. A witness, Bill Miller, saw this Joe Cates follow the victim around the corner. Then Miller and a policeman heard a shot and found Cates bending over Masters' body.
The newspapers say Cates threw away his gun and started to run, but the policeman overtook and overpowered him. That's the way it happened, isn't it, Markham?
Yes, and despite a letter in which Masters wrote he feared Cates, I'll tell you something, Vance. Cates denies shooting Masters, and I don't entirely disbelieve him.
No?
No, despite this letter the victim wrote naming Cates as the man who had threatened him.
It seems there's rather a complete case against Mr. Cates, but you say you don't entirely disbelieve Cates' claim that he didn't kill Masters. Why?
I don't know why. Call it a sixth sense, call it anything you like, but I don't think he did it. Everything points to him, and I'm sure I'll get a conviction when the case goes to the jury. But I don't believe he did it.
Well, perhaps he didn't. Perhaps someone else did murder Mr. Masters. He had political enemies, I believe.
Yes, but Vance, it's the ballistics report on the gun that the police officer picked up that proved our conclusive evidence against Cates. The officer saw him throw it away. And it's the murder gun, all right, a pearl-handled automatic, a .45.
I know why you tried to reach me. As the district attorney, there isn't anything you can do to prevent Joe Cates from being convicted.
But as a man, I'm sure he didn't murder Masters. And tomorrow I've got to put him on the stand and convince the jury that he's guilty.
I know how you feel. Well, let me see. There are 3 reasons why Cates is believed guilty. The witness who saw him trail Masters around the corner, the letter written by Masters and indicting Cates, and Cates' gun, which the officer saw him throw away and which has been proved to be the murder weapon.
That's right. Combined, they form irrefutable testimony against Cates.
But you're not too happy about the certain proof you have that Cates is a murderer.
Definitely not. Only there isn't anything I can do about it.
I don't like to see you unhappy, Markham. Maybe there's something I can do about it. I'll be at the trial tomorrow.
Quiet in the courtroom, please. Continue with your interrogation of the witness, Mr. Defense Attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like him to identify this photograph.
Excuse me. May I? Pardon me, please.
I've saved a seat for you, Mr. Vance. Here.
Thank you, Miss Morgan. Well, how is Mr. Markham doing?
Wonderfully. He can't miss getting a conviction. The defense attorney is questioning the main witness now, but it won't mean a thing. Listen.
Now, the photograph you just looked at, Mr. Miller, shows the scene of the crime, Blake and Daggett Streets, and includes the spot where you were standing. Is that correct?
That's right.
Now, you say you saw a figure whom you identified as Joe Cates turning the corner after the victim, Mr. Masters, had passed.
That's right.
Now, do you mean to say that you could definitely identify a figure in a pouring rain late at night, a figure with his coat collar up and his hat pulled down at so great a distance?
Yes, I do. I'm positive it was Joe Cates. The street lights were bright enough for me to see him. I even knew what color suit he was wearing under his coat. I could see the color of his trousers. That's how bright it was.
That's all. Your witness, Mr. Markham.
No questions.
See what I mean, Mr. Vance? Mr. Markham has a cinch in this case.
So it appears.
Your Honor, I wish to call back upon the stand my client, Mr. Cates.
Very well.
Mr. Cates, please. Will you take the stand?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, now what? Mr. Cates, the state declares that a police officer seized you a short distance from where Mr. Masters' body was found lying on the ground.
Well?
A witness, Mr. Miller, says he saw you turn the corner shortly after Mr. Masters had passed.
That's right, I did turn the corner. I was following Masters to protect him.
From what?
I knew he was in danger. I knew I'd be blamed. I was following him to see that nothing happened to him.
Mr. Cates, a police officer says he saw you throw your gun away. Is that true?
Yes, I did throw my gun away. I didn't want to be caught with it on me.
The state says that gun the officer picked up, the one you threw away, killed Edward Masters.
I know. I've heard it a dozen times, only I can't help what the state says. All I know is I didn't do it.
This is District Attorney Markham. The Masters murder case began with the finding of Edward Masters' body, with Joe Cates discovered bending over the body seconds later. Cates had thrown away his gun when the officer approached, and later it was found to be the murder weapon. Cates is on trial, and I'm prosecuting him, but I have a strong feeling that despite the evidence, he is not the killer. Because of my misgivings, Philo Vance is in the courtroom as the trial continues with the defense attorney questioning the prisoner. It is some time...
Mr. Cates, I want you to tell the court. Now, you admit throwing your gun away when the policeman approached. Tell the court, where did you get that gun?
Down at Henry's pawn shop. I paid $20 for it.
How many times had you fired that gun, Mr. Cates?
I never fired it. Never in my life. Quiet in the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. You never fired it?
No, I tell you, never. Once when I was cleaning it at my place right after I got it, it went off accidentally, but I never fired it at anybody.
The police established definitely that it was the gun you threw away that fired the shot that killed Mr. Masters. Now, how do you explain that?
I'll tell you how. I'm being framed, that's how. I never fired that gun. I never aimed it at anybody, and I never murdered Edward Masters, but it doesn't look to me like anybody's gonna believe that.
Well, this is Henry's pawn shop, Vance. Do I go in with you?
No, Markham, please. I want to do this alone if you don't mind. Wait for me, will you?
Of course. After the trial this afternoon, I don't mind being alone, believe me.
The trial isn't over yet, Markham. Tomorrow's another day. And by tomorrow, we may have some hope for Cates.
I hope so, Vance.
I won't be long.
Yes? Yes? What can I do for you, sir?
I'm not sure. Can anyone hear us?
There's no one here, sir. Nobody but the two of us. What is it you want?
A gun.
I'm sorry, sir. Guns do not sell. If you have something to pawn, I'll gladly look at it. If you wish to purchase something, I'll gladly sell it. Except guns. Guns I do not sell.
I've got a lot of money.
Money wouldn't help me if I went to jail. A lot of money, you say?
That's what I said.
What kind of a gun?
How much do you want for a .45 automatic, pearl-handled?
With a pearl handle, it will cost you $100. Without, it's less.
How much less?
I have a foreign pistol for $20. I have them for any price over that.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. I'll be back.
When they say they'll be back, they never come back. Plenty of money, huh?
Good day, sir.
Well, Vance, what'd you find out?
Nothing definite, Markham, but something that insists that I continue on this case. I don't know how I'm going to prove it at the moment, but I think that I can blast the most incriminating evidence against Joe Cates. Possession of the murder gun.
Yes, Miss Burke?
There's a Mr. Akins to see you, sir.
Who? Mr. Akins. I don't know any Mr. Akins. You sure he wants to see me?
He said he wanted to see you, Mr. Graves. He asked if you were the political leader, and I told him yes, and then he said he had something very private and personal to discuss with you.
What could that be?
I'm sure I don't know, sir.
Well, send him in. Then if you like, you can leave.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Graves.
Private and personal. What could that be?
Mr. Graves.
Come in, Mr. Akins. What can I do for you?
I rather think it's something you can do for yourself. Yes, Mr. Graves, that's exactly what I'd rather think.
And what does that mean?
Mr. Graves, I live at the corner of Blake and Daggett Street, above the drugstore.
Well?
Remember that rainy night when that fellow, what's his name? Yes, Eddie Masters, was shot?
Yes? What about it?
Well, I was standing at the window, looking out. I like to look out when it rains. I think streets are prettiest when it's raining.
Forget the streets. What's on your mind?
Well, my windows face the corner where Masters was shot. And I saw who shot him. I rather think it was you, Mr. Graves. I've seen your pictures in the papers often. Yes, I rather think it was you.
Oh, you do, huh?
Oh, yes. I was going to mention it to my wife, but I said to myself, no, I said, I'm going to see Mr. Graves himself. I'm sure he'll give me something for not saying anything about this to anybody. You see, I was rather sure you would.
You were. You were sure you were going to get something to keep your mouth closed.
I was rather certain of it.
You're going to get something to keep it closed, all right? Keep it closed for good.
Oh, no. No, please.
This, Markham, will prove something to us or nothing, but it must be done.
Granted, it must be, if you say so. But what is it, Vance?
This is Joe Cates' apartment. He told the court from the witness stand that he had a gun and had fired a bullet from it accidentally the other day.
Yes.
The bullet apparently entered into the woodwork about here. I'm getting it out.
And what do you want with that bullet, Vance?
Support of a theory of mine, for one thing, Markham.
Should we answer that, Vance?
Why not? It's for you.
For me? The phone rings in Joe Cates' apartment, and you know it's for me. Vance, how's that possible?
Relatively simple. It can't be for Cates. Everybody knows he's in jail. And I did call your office and leave word you'd be here.
Well, it could also be a wrong number. Don't forget that. Hello.
Mr. Markham, Riley.
Riley. Vance was right again.
Right?
Nothing, Riley, nothing. What is it?
There's been another murder, Mr. Markham. Quiet fellow named Akins, George Akins.
Yes?
Lived at the corner of Blake and Daggett Streets. We picked his body out of a lot. Shot through the head.
Where are you calling from?
The morgue. Akins' widow just identified the body. Thought I'd let you know.
Well, I'm glad you did. Thanks, Riley. Bye. Well, Vance, just to make matters worse, there's been another murder. A fellow named Akins lived at the corner of Blake and Daggett Streets. Shot through the head.
Well, rather unfortunate for Mr. Akins. But it doesn't make matters worse for us.
Why not? It's just another murder the police will have to solve.
Perhaps. Where did the murder of Edward Masters take place, Markham?
At the corner of Blake and Daggett. Vance.
You see what I mean, Markham? I think perhaps our Mr. Akins might have seen the Masters murder, tried a shakedown, and got himself killed for his efforts. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it?
Well, it can't be coincidence.
That's the way I feel about it, too. Now, Markham, there's something I want you to do for me. I want to be present when the bullet taken from Akins is compared with this bullet I just took out of the wall in Kate's apartment.
All right, Vance, but why?
Because the answer to that question is the answer to the Masters murder, Markham.
Okay, Mr. Vance, I've looked. No doubt about it. The two bullets are identical.
Thanks, Riley. Satisfied, Markham?
I'm completely satisfied that the bullet we took out of the wall in Kate's apartment came from the same gun as the bullet that killed Akins. But what does that prove?
Everything. Everything to my satisfaction. I'm convinced now that Cates did not kill Masters. Satisfied beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I understand that Masters was particularly active against a political organization trying to get into power.
That's right. He made street corner speeches against the organization every day.
The head of that party is a Mr. Jonathan Graves, I believe.
Yes.
Get him in your office, Markham. I'm going to see Akins' widow. With half a break, we'll clear up this case in an hour.
I'm a busy man, Markham, a very busy man. What's the idea of getting me down here to your office?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Graves, it's Philo Vance's idea.
Vance? Well, if it's his idea, where is he?
On the way here, I hope. He went to see the widow of that fellow Akins, the one whose body the police picked up a little while ago.
What's that got to do with me?
I'm afraid Vance will have to tell you that when he gets.
I'm here to tell Mr. Graves right now. Thank you, Markham, for getting him here.
If you're Vance, don't thank him for getting me here. Thank me for coming.
My thanks to both of you. Mr. Graves, I've just come from seeing the widow of George Akins.
So Markham was telling me.
She told me a rather strange thing. She said that her husband was going to see you just before he was shot.
Maybe he was. He never got to my office, though.
That's still stranger. The young lady in your office told me that she showed Akins in to see you. That's the reason I was delayed, Markham. I saw both Mrs. Akins and Mr. Graves' office assistant.
Okay, so he was in to see me. What about it? He left. I never saw him again.
Mr. Graves, you made a terrible error, leaving your gun in your desk drawer.
You don't trick me, Vance. I didn't leave it in any drawer. I've got it with me right here.
Thank you. I'll just take it if you don't mind. Come now, Mr. Graves. You have no reason for not giving it to me, have you?
No, of course I haven't. No, I won't do it. I won't give it to you.
Oh, yes, you will. I'm taking it from you.
Stop it, you There, you've got it now. What do you want it for?
For a wonderful reason, Mr. Graves. It's undoubtedly the gun that killed Mr. Akins, for one thing.
You think my gun killed Akins?
No, but this is not your gun. I think your gun killed Edward Masters. It was Joe Cates' gun that killed Akins. But you fired both guns, Mr. Graves. Markham, when Cates' trial is resumed tomorrow, ask that the charge against him be dismissed and that Mr. Graves be held for Masters' murder.
Vance, would you explain to me about the murder gun? That's what's been bothering me.
It will bother you no longer, Markham. The gun that killed Masters was a pearl-handled automatic, right?
That's right.
Cates' gun, the one that he bought from the pawnbroker, was a foreign pistol. Cates told me he paid $20 for his gun. You can't buy a pearl-handled automatic for $20.
Oh, I see now.
The police officer picked up the murder gun, all right, but it wasn't the gun Cates threw away. That the murderer himself came back to find after the crowd had dispersed.
Give me that slowly, will you, Vance? Please?
Certainly. Cates threw his gun away when the policeman arrived.
Yes.
The murderer, Graves, saw him do it.
Uh-huh.
Graves had previously thrown his gun away when he was running with Cates after him.
Oh, I see now. Graves came back to pick up Cates' gun and keep it.
Keep it until he had to use it to kill Mr. Akins.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, my idea as to why Akins was killed was correct. He saw Graves kill Masters.
I don't see why Graves didn't get rid of Cates' gun after he picked it up.
No reason for him to, Markham. That gun hadn't killed anyone until he himself used it on Akins. Then he didn't dare get rid of it because if it were ever proven that it was Cates' gun, Cates would be absolved of the murder of Masters and the real murderer sought.
This has really been a beauty, hasn't it, Vance? Every possible element seemed to point to Cates as Masters' killer. But you found a way of breaking all of them down.
Well, Markham, I was glad to do it for a number of reasons. One of them is that all this publicity after Graves' indictment will mean that his crooked political machine will be at an end.
That's quite a coincidence, Vance. Yes, the end of the machine and, of course, the end of the Masters murder case.
Please, Daniel.
I'm sorry, dear. I just can't help being nervous. The man wants $100,000. That's every bit of money we have in the bank.
He'll kill you if you don't give it to him, though. He said he would. Oh, give him the money, Daniel. You know what happened to George Morris.
I won't do it.
Oh,
I
please.
told him I wouldn't do it on the telephone this afternoon.
But
I told him I wouldn't go to the police. But I wouldn't pay him the money either.
Oh, Daniel, you did the wrong thing.
Maybe that's what's making me nervous.
Oh, my dear.
A killer who whistles. Who just whistles and kills.
You told him you weren't going to call the police.
Yes. I told him I didn't have $100,000, but he laughed as if he knew I had.
Daniel, I won't have you working yourself into a breakdown. I'm going to call the police. Daniel.
Those footsteps. Maybe it's our butler. He could be coming downstairs.
Daniel, that can't be our butler. You know it can't.
It's the killer. It's the whistling killer.
Go away. Go away, you. Don't. Don't. Don't.
No, no.
You killed him. You murderer. You killed him. Oh.
I tell you, Vance, you've got to do something. This isn't any scientific murder series. There aren't any clues. All we know is that 3 people were murdered by the whistling killer.
I know, Markham. Believe me, I understand the complications. Undoubtedly, all 3 victims, Morrissey and Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Stewart, had been threatened and refused to pay.
Why didn't they call me? What good is being a district attorney if people won't call on you for help?
By the same token, what good is being a private investigator if there's nothing to work on?
Vance, I never heard you talk that way.
But what else can I do? There isn't a single place for me to begin working. What do we know? Tell me, what do we know?
Well, we know the Stewart's butler heard someone whistle, then shots. He was on the 3rd floor, and by the time he came down to the library, Mr. Stewart was dead, and Mrs. Stewart lived only long enough to say that the killer wanted $100,000.
Where does anybody go from there? What do I do? Investigate the butler?
No, he's been with the Stewarts for years, absolutely beyond reproach. The butler's out, Vance.
I know he's out, but who's in? What do we do for suspects? How do I find a killer nobody living has ever seen?
I don't know, Vance. All I know is that if there's anyone in the world who can do it, that person is you.
Steady, Dad. Mullins.
Joe, Mike. I've got a statement from the DA on the whistling killer murders.
Give.
District Attorney Markham urges any citizen who was approached by the whistling killer to call him immediately in the interest of law and order, etc., etc., etc. The DA asks we put it in a box on page 1.
I'll take it up to the city editor. Nothing more to the statement?
That's it. The usual business about the law being more powerful than any criminal. Police have several leads they're tracking down, you know.
Can do. Maybe the item will give the DA something to work on. I guarantee he doesn't have a thing on that whistling killer right now.
Sweetie! Oh, sweetie, I've been waiting for you. Oh, honey, it's good to see you. Sit down. Here, sit here in your favorite chair. That's it now. Come on now, honey, put your feet up. Right here on the stool. That's better, isn't it? Are you hungry, darling?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to fix you something super special. Here, let me open up your collar, huh? Is that better? Now, you sit right there and don't you move. I know you worked very hard last night. I've been reading all about it in the newspapers. Say, you killed 3 people already. The whole town's looking for you. Nobody knows who you are, but every cop's on the muscle. Don't that scare you? Don't it make you nervous? Don't... Hey, how do you like that? He's fast asleep, just like a baby.
No, Markham, not a thing.
I
This
know.
is the most helpless situation I've ever been in.
Nobody's called in after that item I had put in the newspapers either, Vance. Does this mean we'll have to wait for somebody else to be killed before we do something about the whistling killer?
I sincerely hope not. The very moment you hear any...
Mr. Vance, I've got to talk to you immediately.
Hello,
Please.
Vance.
Please, Mr. Vance.
I'll call you back, Markham. I have a visitor. Goodbye. Well, it's a little late for me to ask you in, my friend, but would you mind closing the door?
Vance, my name is Wilbur Jones. I've received a warning, the whistling killer. You've got to do something to help me. I don't dare go to the police. You've got to help me. Somebody has to help me.
Take it easy, please, Mr. Jones. I was just talking to the district attorney. We knew the whistling killer would look for another victim. He hasn't been successful in getting any money so far.
He's killed 3 people, and I'm going to be the 4th unless you do something to prevent it. He warned me against going to the police. He said he'd kill me if I did. I don't dare go near the district attorney. I came to you. You've got to help me.
How much money does he want?
$150,000. Every cent I have in the world. I won't give it to him. I can't. It's taken me years to save it. What right is he to demand I give it to him? Mr. Vance, do something. Please do something.
When is the killer going to be in touch with you again?
I don't know. He didn't say. He's too smart. He won't take a chance on calling and having the phone call traced. He'll come up to me on the street, maybe, when I'm alone. He'll kill me. He'll kill me sure, Vance.
I don't think he will, Mr. Jones. Something you've told me has given me the first clue I've had on this case.
Something I have told you?
Yes. I want to telephone the bank where Mr. Stewart kept his money. We know the Whistling Killer asked Stewart for $100,000.
Yes?
If I find out one thing at the bank, I'll have the one thing I need to start work on catching him. And you can bank on that.
Yes, come in.
Hello, Dad.
Oh, hello, son.
Hi.
Well, come on, sit down.
Thanks. But I have no time, Dad. I'll guess what I came in for.
Well, I don't have to guess. How much do you want this time?
$100, Dad.
Oh.
A big night tonight.
But, Jimmy, you're spending a lot of money lately.
Why not? Who taught me to spend money but my ever-loving father?
Well, that's not the point.
All your fault, Dad. You brought me up wrong. Well, 100, Dad?
Now, look here, son. I'm not made of
now,
money.
Pop, listen. How would you like it if James Whitby Jr. went out with $1.30 in his pocket? What would people say? About you?
This is nothing to joke about, Jimmy.
Who's joking? James Whitby Jr., young banking executive, with $1.30 in his kick. Is that funny?
Oh, all right, Jimmy. I'll give you the money this
Thanks,
time.
Dad. I know you would. Maybe you won't have to keep shelling out like this, Pop. Not much longer, anyhow.
Oh?
If plans I have come through, I won't have to ask you for a dime, ever. Come on, Markham, give. Now, Joe, Our readers want to know what progress the police have made on the Whistling Killer case.
There's nothing I can tell you, Joe. Not a thing.
When interviewed in his office, the district attorney asserted that the police are running down several clues and an early arrest is anticipated. Want that?
No, I don't.
Well, then you'd better get...
Joe, can I tell you something off the record?
That's against my better judgment, but go ahead.
Philo Vance called me on the telephone a little while ago.
Vance?
Yes. He said he had found a connection between Daniel Stewart, the man who was killed with his wife, and another man who shall be nameless, who came to him after being threatened by the Whistling Killer.
Oh, you mean there is a break coming up in this case?
If you don't print that. You know Vance, Joe. You know all he needs is one little opening, and he'll crack this thing wide open.
That's right.
Just between you and me, an early arrest is anticipated. At least by me.
Mr. Whitby, you were the head of the Leighton Bank for many years, weren't you?
Yes, Vance. Yes, I was. I still have an interest in it. Why do you ask?
You knew Daniel Stewart?
Well, I met him. He was a client of the bank.
I have a very important question to ask you.
Oh? Well, go ahead, by all means.
Your bank has 2 branches.
That's right.
What official of your company would have knowledge of the depositors in both branches?
I don't think I know what you mean.
I guess I haven't been very clear. Let's say that I had $100,000 in your Main Street branch.
Yes?
And a friend of mine had, let's say, $200,000 in your Maple Street branch.
Uh-huh.
How many people would know both figures?
Oh, well, now, let me see. Oh, I imagine none of the tellers would know about both branches.
I know that.
The vice president in charge of accounts would have supervision over both branches, then.
And who is he?
My son.
Anyone else, Mr. Whitby?
Now, let me think. There's...
Get down! Down on the floor!
You got him, Mr. Whitby?
No, I didn't.
Well, come on. Let's get after whoever fired those shots.
All right, I'm with you.
You couldn't have gotten very far. We'll get out this door and... no.
It's locked.
Whoever did it was pretty cute. Locked the door from the outside. Mr. Whitby, have you received any communication from the Whistling Killer? Well, have you?
Yes, I have.
That's what I thought. I'm on the right track, anyhow. Only one thing puzzles me right now.
Well, what is that, Vance?
In all probability, that was the Whistling Killer who fired those shots. But I wonder why he didn't whistle.
Stop it! What are you hitting me for? I didn't say I was going to do it. I only said I might if you didn't treat me. Let it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Will you... Where are you going? Where are you going? Clip me, will you? What for? What did I do? Nothing, that's what. Well, now I'm really going to give you something to clip me about. Who do you think you are, anyway? You clip me for nothing. Well, you're never going to do that again, I can tell you.
District Attorney Markham speaking.
I've got something to spell to you.
Who is this?
This is a dame who's calling up to do you a great big favor.
Yes?
Malcolm, you're trying to find out who the whistling killer is, aren't you?
We most certainly are. Do you know? Who is it?
It's a guy who's going to be awful sorry that he...
He what? Hello? He what? Hello, what's the trouble? Hello, are you still there? Hello? What were you trying to say just a moment ago? I didn't get you. Hello? Hello? Hello, what's happened? Hello? Hello, are you there?
This is District Attorney Markham. The Whistling murder case concerns the killing by an unknown extortionist of several people, the most recent of whom was shot while talking on the telephone to me. Philo Vance, appealed to for help by a man named Wilbur Jones, uncovered something that sent him to a former banker named James Whitby, and from Whitby learned that his son, James Jr., knew the exact deposits several of the victims maintained in their bank accounts. He's about to explain the significance of this to me in my office, and I'm very...
It's reasonably simple, Markham. Just before she died, Mrs. Stewart was able to tell her butler that the whistling killer had demanded $100,000.
Yes, I know.
That $100,000 represented every cent Stewart had in the bank. Somebody knew that.
Or it was a coincidence.
Well, it might have been, except that the Wilbur Jones who came to me told me that the whistling killer had demanded exactly the same amount as he had in the bank. And both Jones and Stewart used the same bank, although different branches.
Oh, I think I'm beginning to understand. And I'm frank to say it's about time I did. We almost had a break on this case, that phone call I got from the girl who was shot. She didn't live long enough to talk.
We'll make our own break, Markham. As you know, James Whitby told me that his son would know how much depositors in both branches of the bank would have in their accounts. But I've uncovered the strangest thing.
Yes?
Yes. I discovered that Mr. Jones is a director of the bank, and that he, too, might very easily have access to the accounts.
You mean the man who came to you for help is a suspect?
Why not? That device has been tried before, pretending to be a victim so that suspicion is removed. I've got to do some more checking. I want to find just how many people would know about the deposits in both bank branches. Then I have a plan to make the whistling killer show his hand.
It sounds very interesting if one of the bank employees is the killer. What goes on from here, Vance?
I go on from here, Markham, on to a series of questions with which I won't bore you. The next time you hear from me, I'll have some answers for you.
Yes, sir?
Mr. Jones in.
Who shall I say is calling, please?
James Whitby, Jr.
One moment, please.
Hello, hello. What is it? What is it?
Mr. James Whitby, Jr. to see you, Mr. Jones.
Whitby. No. I won't see him.
Very well, sir.
Wait. Wait just a moment. Maybe I'd better send him in.
Yes, sir. Through that door, Mr. Whitby.
Thanks. Hello, Jones.
Come in. Now, listen, Whitby. I don't want you to do anything foolish. I want you to listen to me for a minute.
Just hold the phone, Jones. I came to see you, remember?
I know what you came about. But you've got to give me time.
Let's start from the beginning.
Well?
I walked in here for one reason, Jones, because I want you to lay off my father.
What?
That's it. Lay off my dad.
What are you talking about?
He told me a shot was fired at him when he was talking to Philo Vance yesterday.
I know that. The whistling killer fired that shot.
Is that what you think?
Yes, and you're the whistling killer.
What?
I figured it all out. When I told Vance about the amount of money I was asked for, he figured it was somebody at the bank. You know how much everybody has deposited. You've got to be the killer.
Leave me alone or call for help. That's a good act you're doing. But you have as much opportunity to look at our accounts as I have. You know the amount each depositor has. But I'll give you a break, Jones. You lay off my father, and I won't tell anybody what I know.
What you know? Just what is it you know?
That you're the whistling killer, of course.
Markham speaking.
This is Vance, my friend.
I've been waiting for your call, Vance. Means you've asked all your questions, doesn't it?
It most certainly does. Are there any newspaper men in your office at the moment?
There generally are, a few within call. Why?
I want you to make an announcement to them, Markham. Here's what I want.
What's the matter? You think you own the whole train?
Shut up and get lost. Guy can't come home from work the subway reading his paper without getting into an argument.
Well, just give me a little room to read my paper. It won't be no argument.
Okay, so you got room. So shut up. Go ahead, read. Big front page story.
Yeah? What about?
Well, read it yourself. You kept shoving to get yourself room to read.
Somebody's pushing me to the other side. What's on the front page?
First, I get shoved around. Now I got to read to the guy. It's about the whistling killer.
Hey!
Yeah, you could say that again. Only this time he didn't kill nobody. This time the papers say he made a date to call on Philo Vance. You ever hear of Philo Vance?
Yeah, sure. Who hasn't? That killer's got some nerve fooling around with Vance.
So he's got some nerve. So what?
When's he going to see Vance?
The paper says the guy called Vance and said he... Oh, sorry. This is my stuff. Well, you got room now. Read it from your own paper.
I could use another C note, Dad.
What?
Yeah. Another 100.
Another 100? Look here, boy. I gave you $100 the other night.
I guess you did, but it's gone. I meant to ask you for it today down at the bank, but you left before I had a chance.
Well, you might as well know this. I'm not giving you any more money, Jimmy.
But, Dad...
I don't have it.
Come on now, Dad. Let's stop with that talk. You got plenty of dough. You got stocks, bonds...
I don't have any more.
You don't? What happened?
The wrong stocks went up. The wrong ones went down.
Oh, what's the difference? You got plenty of cash. Come on, Pop, 100. That's all I need, 100.
No. And that's definite.
Pop, you wouldn't want me... Who's there?
Philo Vance.
Philo Vance. What does he want here?
Open the door and see. What's the matter, Jim? What are you afraid of?
Nothing. Nothing. I'll open it. Hold it, Vance. I'm on the way. Well?
You're young Whitby?
Well?
That's my son, Vance.
He doesn't seem particularly pleased to see me. How are you, Mr. Whitby?
I'm pretty well, thank you.
Oh, what do you want here, Vance?
I merely want to invite you over to my office, young man.
What for?
To meet the whistling killer.
What? What are you talking about?
Just that. The whistling killer is calling on me. Your son won't be alone. Mr. Wilbur Jones will be there, and District Attorney Markham.
Well, what do you want with me? I'm not going there. I won't go.
I think you can convince him differently, can't you, Mr. Whitby?
Well...
My office in an hour. Perhaps you ought to bring your son, Mr. Whitby. Just to make sure he gets there, of course.
I tell you, Mr. Markham, I have work to do tonight at the bank.
But
There's
Mr.
no reason
Jones...
for me to be here at Vance's office jeopardizing my life.
He's right.
You can say that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, and my apologies to you, Mr. Whitby, and your son. Vance said he'd be here at 8 o'clock. It's only 7:30 now.
Well, look, what's all this business about the whistling killer?
Vance believes the killer will keep his word and be here, providing we don't have the building surrounded by police. And we're doing without any policemen for that reason.
Well, I don't think I understand, Mr. Markham.
I can explain it partially, I believe. Mr. Whitby, the whistling killer has been in touch with you demanding money.
Yes, he has. I told that to Vance.
And you, Mr. Jones?
Well, Vance knows that. I told him the killer was after me. What is he trying to do? Set me up here in this office to make it easy for him?
I honestly don't know what Vance is trying to do. Mr. Whitby, Jr.?
Well?
No threat from the whistling killer to you?
Well, what could he get out of me? Which leads me to ask, what am I doing here?
I'm sure Vance will explain that. He was most anxious to have you. I believe he called on you in person, didn't he? So I'm quite certain.
Wait, listen. It's the whistling killer.
The whistling killer? He's coming here?
Coming here to kill me. Markham, you have a gun. You must have a gun.
No, I don't carry one. Now get down behind Vance's desk.
That's for me and for you.
Come on, Junior. Duck down.
Okay. Dad, come.
I'm staying here, son. I want to get this over with.
Dad, don't be crazy. He'll kill you. Dad, he'll...
Vance.
What's going on?
I never heard of anything so ridiculous in my life.
When everybody is quite
practical
through
joke is this?
reprimanding me for
It's very
pretending to be the
unfunny.
whistling killer, I'll explain all
Well, I
of it.
should think you would.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This little experiment was very necessary, gentlemen. Definitely necessary.
All right. It was necessary to scare all of us to death. But what did it prove?
What did it prove, Mr. Whitby?
That's what I said.
Nothing very much, except that you are the whistling killer.
Now, Vance, he's going for a gun.
No, Dad, no more killing.
Let go my arms, you fool. Let go.
I'm afraid you'd better help the young man, Markham. After which I'm sure you'll see to it that the whistling killer talks.
All right. What's the point of my denying it? I'm the Whistling Killer. Although how you knew, how I gave myself away, I'll never know, Vance.
It so happens that I don't know either, Whitby. Vance?
Let's see if I can start from the beginning of this case and bring it right up to date. I'll admit that some of this is pure supposition, but I believe you lost all your money in the stock market. Correct, Mr. Whitby?
It's your story, Vance.
It's correct.
Thank you, Markham. Anyhow, Whitby hit upon the idea of the Whistling Killer, an idea that would cloak his identity. He investigated the bank accounts of his friends, found just how much cash they were worth, and went to work.
There was a girl killed, wasn't there, Vance? How do you explain that?
That, Whitby, was your girlfriend, of course. You two probably had a falling out. Incidentally, when Markham was talking to her on the phone, just as you shot her, he heard your whistle, which was how I could imitate it in my office.
You still haven't told me how you found me.
I will. There are some details to fill in. One of them was the shot that was fired when you and I were together, Whitby. You see, your son knew you were the killer. I'm sure he did. He fired that shot, missing purposely just to throw me off.
Young Whitby knew about his father?
I think so. He went to see my client, Wilbur Jones, and accused him of being the Whistling Killer, to keep Jones from suspecting Mr. Whitby here. After all, there are only 3 men who had access to the accounts in both branches of the bank, the 2 Whitbys and Jones.
As you say, Vance, this is all hypothetical, although it does sound completely logical. But let's get back to your office when you named Whitby here. How could you do that?
When I, impersonating the Whistling Killer, came to the door, Markham, you and young Whitby and Jones were behind my desk. Only Whitby here was in the open, with a much-feared killer closing in. Why would he stay out in the clear?
No reason, Vance.
One reason. Because he knew it wasn't the Whistling Killer at all. It couldn't be. He was the Whistling Killer, so he knew he had nothing to fear. He realized it was a trick.
Oh. So that's how I gave myself away, huh?
Yes.
You imagined the killer would do just that, didn't you, Vance?
I hoped he would. But we were in the middle of this case before I got the idea for it.
It doesn't matter that you got the idea in the middle, Vance. It only matters that we've reached the end of the Whistling murder case.
My niece wants to see me, does she?
Yes, she does.
What's the matter? Isn't she content he doesn't live here? Must she intrude even when I'm trying to read?
She say for me to tell you this. I tell you that is all I know.
All right, Dora, let her come in. But you are to do something for me.
Yes, Mr. Benton. Whatever it is, I do it.
You are to listen outside the door when Irene comes in. Listen. And remember everything she says.
Many years I work for you, Mr. Benton. Never do you ask me to do something like
Never mind whether you ever did it before. Do it now. And get her in here right away. Do you hear me? Right away.
Yes, Mr. Benton. I hear you right away. Miss Benton, go in here, please. Thank you, Dora.
Well, what is it, Irene?
Uncle Walter.
You what? Confound it, girl. What is it?
Uncle Walter, I want to leave this house. I'm going away.
Good. Goodbye.
I've come to ask you a favor. I'll need some money. Just enough to get started in another city. Just until I get a job.
You'll need some money, will you? And you think I'll give it to you? Haven't I done enough for you? Haven't you lived here with me for 10 years ever since your father died?
Yes, that's true.
Well, what's the matter? Isn't this house good enough for you? Does everybody starve you? You work too hard around here?
Uncle Walter, you don't want me here. You've only kept me with you so you could have me near enough to hurt every time you wanted to. You hated my father, and you've never done anything but make me pay for the way you felt about him.
No, I'm cruel, am I?
You're the meanest man in the world. I can't stay here any longer. I've become a good textile designer. I can get a job. but I don't want it to be anywhere near you. I'm afraid of being near you.
Afraid, are you? You're afraid of what I might do to you?
No, Uncle Walter, it isn't that. I'm afraid of what I might do to you.
Yes, Miss Thomas, what is it?
Mr. Benton is still waiting to see you, Mr. French.
All right, send him in.
French, what's the idea of keeping me waiting?
Sit down, Benton, and don't scream at me. I don't scare easily.
Oh, you don't, huh? Good. French, you put in a bid for the Cooperated Industries construction job. Lowest bid they got. You're going to get the order.
Well, what about it?
You're going to get the order, but you're not going to take it.
Oh, I'm not, eh? And why not?
Because my firm made the second lowest bid, and when you tell Cooperated you won't take the order, it'll go to me, and I want it.
What makes you think I'm going to tell Cooperated that?
A little information I happen to have about you and what you were before you came to this city.
I said I don't scare easily, Benton, but I want to add to that. I don't bluff easily either.
Bluff? I'm not bluffing, French. I never bluff. Let me read you a report. A report I assure you I'd have no hesitancy in reading to Mrs. French and your children if you forced me to.
I'm listening.
Washington, D.C., December 1918. This is a clipping from a Washington paper, French. Listen. Washington, D.C., December 1918. The State Department today released a list of men who were wanted for draft evasion in the World War. Men who so far have not been apprehended.
Wait a minute, Benton. How'd you get that clipping?
A friend of mine got it for me. I had to pay him a lot to trace your background, but he did, and he got me this. And, French, I intend to do just what I said I would. If you don't...
Get out of here, Benton.
Get out. Get out? Sure, I'll get out. I'll get out when you tell me you aren't accepting the cooperated order.
I've got to take it, Benton. I'd put every dime I could lay my hands on into a plant that could handle that assignment. I can't give it up.
No? Well, I'm not an unreasonable man. I'll give you until tomorrow morning to decide which it is you can't stand. Bankruptcy or disgrace.
You mean that, don't you?
Of course I mean it. You know me well enough to know I mean it.
Yes, I know. One thing I don't know, how a man like you is allowed to live. I don't know one other thing either. And that is, why don't I do something about that?
Well, Doctor, well...
You can put your shirt on, Mr. Benton. The examination's over.
I know it's over. And I know I can put my shirt on if I want to. I know what's wrong with me. Am I improving? That's what I want to know.
I'm not sure.
You're a doctor, aren't you? What do you mean you're not sure?
I'll need some time to check some laboratory reports. Can't tell you anything definite right now.
Can't tell me anything definite? What kind of a doctor are you?
I was a good one, till I accepted you as a patient. Now, I'm not so sure.
You're not sure about anything, are you? Aren't you forgetting a little conversation we had when I first came to you? Very well, then, stop stalling. I want to know how I'm getting on and how long I have to live.
You really want to know?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Benton, in my opinion, you may not live until morning. But your death may not be from natural causes.
Kind of quiet here at the station, huh, Sergeant?
Yeah, Kelly, but I'm not complaining. When'd you go out on your beat?
Oh, I got another 10, 12 minutes yet, Sergeant. Want me to run out and get some coffee?
No, thanks, just the same. Here, Kelly, take a look at my book. All that's happened since I came on duty is one woman who lost her husband, one woman who lost her dog, and 2 traffic accidents. Slowest night I can remember.
Hey, look at that guy who just came in. Look at the way he's walking.
Man. Hey, you. What's the matter? You in trouble?
Yeah. Yes, officer. I'm Walter Benton. I want to report a murder.
Murder? Who's dead?
I am.
Why did Mrs. Markham say she'd meet us, Markham?
She said she'd come from the theater, and if we got through at the club early, we were to meet her on this corner, Vance.
That sounds to me like she really didn't think you'd make it. My, such doubts for a wife to have about this city's rising young district attorney.
Oh, she doesn't doubt me, Vance. She knows that when you and I start talking, neither of us realizes the time.
Markham, you're my most loyal adherent and staunchest ally. Was kind of good to get away from crime for one evening, wasn't it?
Excellent. That is, if you hadn't treated a chess game the way you treat a murder.
I don't think I know what you mean.
Don't you? Lads, when I play chess with you, I'm the murderer. Everything I do or intend to do, you seem to know. And furthermore, you know how to checkmate it.
Hear that, Markham?
I certainly did. Here, boy, I'll take a paper.
Right, Max. Here you are. Gee, thanks. Extra, read all about it.
Murder, eh? Funny that you weren't notified at the club, Markham.
I can't understand it.
I can now. I left word that I wasn't to be disturbed, and so the club attendant figured that meant you weren't to be given any calls either.
Yeah, it must be. Read this with me, Vance.
The most unusual murder in police history took place tonight when a man identified as Walter Benton, wealthy head of the Benton Construction Company, staggered into the West 80th Street station, announced that he had been murdered, and fell dead at the feet of Sergeant Michael Hoskins, Patrolman Gustav Kelly. Well, the rest is detail. Unimportant, I'd say, at a rough glance.
Well, Vance?
I'm afraid Mrs. Markham is going to miss us on this corner, Markham. But then she didn't really expect we'd be here, I suppose.
No, she didn't. I'm going to headquarters right now, Vance. You like to come?
I think not. I think I'm going to visit Walter Benton's house. Perhaps murder, like charity, begins at home.
The police, they were here. You are more police?
No, my name is Philo Vance. I'm a private investigator. I'd like to ask you some questions.
No. You ask me nothing. I do not know anything. So you ask me nothing.
You know how long you've worked for Mr. Benton, don't you?
12 years. 12 years I've been here. But I don't do anything. The police, they ask me many questions, but I don't do anything. I can tell them nothing.
Who else lived here? You must know that.
Who else live here? I
live here, Mr. Vance.
I heard you questioning Dora.
I know. You were standing outside the door, and your shadow was very evident across the threshold. I was just wondering how long it would be before you announced yourself. You may go, Dora.
Oh, go? Oh, yes, I go. I'll fix some soup for you, Miss Irene. Thanks, Dora.
Miss Irene. Irene what?
Benton. Walter Benton was my uncle. His father and mine were brothers.
You live here?
Yes, I have since my father died.
You don't seem particularly concerned about your uncle's death.
My uncle was the meanest man in the world. He deserved to die.
I hardly think that's your decision to make. Or was it?
Excuse me, Mr. Vance. Hello?
Hello, I believe Mr. Philo Vance is there. May I talk to him, please? This is Mr. Markham.
Just a minute. For you, Mr. Vance. Mr. Markham.
Thank you. Hello, Markham.
Vance, we've just discovered the cause of death in the Benton case. He'd been poisoned, loaded with poison, the medical examiner says. I just thought you'd like to know.
Thank you, Markham. What kind of poison was it?
Carborium chloride. Any developments on your end, Vance?
Not yet. I'll be in touch with you, Markham.
Good enough. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nice chicken broth I made you. Come have it while it's hot.
Thank you, Dora, but I think I'll go up to my room. I hope you'll excuse me, Mr. Vance.
I really don't have any choice, do I? Oh, Dora.
Yes?
Don't you leave me. I'm not quite through in this house, and I'd rather not be alone.
Well, what is it you want?
I might be interested in some of that chicken broth you made.
That is for Miss Irene, not for you.
What is this great power I have over the opposite sex? Dora, what was that?
Sound like bottle break.
Sounded like that to me, too. Where is Miss Irene's room?
The top upstairs.
Thank you very much.
Where you go, Mr. Vance? Where you go?
Miss Benton. Oh, in there, eh? Well, what have we here? Besides a couple of broken bottles. Been pouring the contents of them down the drain, haven't you?
What about it? Supposing I have.
The bottles are broken, but the labels are intact. Well, let's see now. It's carborium chloride. You have excellent hearing, Miss Benton.
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do. I think you overheard Mr. Markham telling me on the phone just now that your uncle died of poisoning and that carborium chloride was the poison used.
Yes?
Yes. You knew that you had carborium chloride in your room, so you ran up to dispose of it before I'd find it. I see by the designing equipment in this room that you had a use for the carborium. Handy in textile dyeing, wasn't it?
So what if it was? And what if I did try to get rid of it just now? Do you think that proves I killed my uncle?
You did overhear what Mr. Markham told me.
Yes, I did. I heard him say that carborium chloride killed my uncle. And you did catch me trying to get rid of that carborium I had here. But do you think that proves I killed him?
No. No, Miss Benton, I don't think it proves that at all. In fact, I think it proves you didn't. No, No, Markham, I'm in my own office. I'm quite sure we won't be overheard, so don't worry.
But, Vance...
I'll listen to what you have to tell me in a moment.
But it's important.
So is what I have to tell you. Listen, Markham, I know for a fact that Irene Benton can be removed from our suspect list. She didn't poison her uncle, despite the fact she broke several bottles of carborium chloride that were in her room.
How do you know she didn't?
She tried to destroy them after you told me it was carborium that caused Walter Benton's death, Markham. If she had poisoned her uncle, she'd have known what killed him, would have destroyed the poison long before I got to the house.
Vance, that's the most logical explanation of a completely contradictory act I ever heard. She tried to destroy the poison because she believed that if we found it, we would suspect her.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Now, Markham, now that I've removed one suspect from this case, tell me your news.
I have a suspect to replace the one you took away. In a secret pocket in Walter Benton's clothes, Sergeant Heath found a clipping from a Washington, D.C. newspaper. A clipping dated December 1918.
Yes?
It named a group of men wanted for draft evasion in World War I. And one of the men is in this city now. What's more, he was a business rival of Walter Benton's. His name is Martin French. Apparently, Benton was using the clipping to blackmail him.
Apparently. You know, Markham, Irene Benton told me that her uncle was the meanest man in the world. I'm beginning to think she was right. But we've still got to find out who killed him.
This is District Attorney Markham. The Meanest Man murder case began when Walter Benton announced he'd been murdered and then fell dead in police headquarters. Benton lived with his niece, Irene, and a housekeeper, Dora. But neither has been of any help to either Philo Vance or the police in establishing who poisoned Benton. However, we have uncovered a suspect in Martin French, an industrial rival of Benton's, whom we suspect Benton was blackmailing. The man we have watching French has reported to us that he was last seen entering the office of Philo Vance. We don't know what he's doing there, but we do know...
Mr. Vance, this is a strictly business proposition. I'm a businessman. I want to pay you to establish my innocence in the death of Walter Benton.
If you're guilty, you couldn't pay me, Mr. French. If you're innocent, you won't have to.
Oh, don't beat around the bush, Vance. I'm a prize suspect, and I know it. Now, Benton knew something about me I didn't want known. Now that he's dead, it'll come out. I know it will. And I'm not prepared to face going on trial for Benton's death. I didn't kill him. You've got to help me prove that.
I'm not an attorney, you know, Mr. French.
Yes, I know. You're a private investigator, the best in the business. And I want to hire you to prove I didn't kill Benton. Hire you to prove who did. Put it that way. Maybe that'll sound better to you.
You don't have to hire me for that. I'm trying right now to find Benton's killer. By the way, did you see Benton the day of his death?
Why, yes. He was in my office.
You didn't have lunch with him? He didn't drink any water in your office?
No. All he did was threaten me. Threatened me and left.
I see. Well, Mr. French, it's only fair to tell you that the police do know about your past.
Benton found a way of letting them know even after he was dead. Just like the man. Just like him.
From what I've heard of him, it certainly was. You've given me an idea, French. Dead man told one tale. Maybe he'll also indicate who killed him.
Coming. Oh, Dr. Larkin, I'm so glad you come. It's Dora. She's lying on the bed in her room and she's hysterical.
Glad you called me, Miss Benton. I'll go see her right away. Which room is her?
The room right next to the library. You remember the library?
Certainly. Used to examine your uncle there. This should be Dora's room right here.
That's right. Shall I go in with you?
No, that won't be necessary. I'll go in myself. I'll call you if I need anything, Miss
Very
Benton.
well, Doctor. I'll be where you can find me.
Dora, stop crying, please. This is Dr. Larkin. I'm going to help you.
Go away. Nobody can help me. Go away.
You've got to stop that crying, Dora. Stop it. You're making yourself sick.
Sick. I'm not sick. Doctor, I am too well. But he is dead, Doctor. He's dead.
Mr. Benton? Yes, Dora? But he's been dead a whole day now. You weren't like this when you heard the news of his death.
Oh, what different, Doctor. It takes time, maybe, before I realize no more he's here. I wanted to come back, Doctor. I wanted to come back. You can bring him back, Doctor.
Nobody can bring him back, Dora. Somebody poisoned him.
You know who poisoned him, Doctor. You know who do this.
The police are trying to find out.
I know who do it, Doctor. I know.
You do, Dora?
I know. Doctor, you know too. Only the two of us know. And the two of us, we don't talk. Ever. Do we, Doctor?
Passengers from Flight 87 leaving at gate 4. Passengers.
Going somewhere, Mr. French?
What's that?
I imagined you'd be surprised to see me. Actually, I was surprised to see where you were heading when I started to follow you.
I have a business trip, Vance. Only a day or so.
Really? With all the luggage I saw you check?
Why not? May as well tell you. I was running away. I have to get away, Vance.
I don't think you do. If you were wanted, you'd be picked up no matter where you went. Don't you realize that? Running away won't solve anything.
What am I going to do?
Go back to your house. There are some developments pending in the Meanest man murder case that I don't believe you will want to miss. In fact, I wouldn't want you to miss them.
Dr. Larkin speaking.
Dr. Larkin, this is Philo Vance. Walter Benton was a patient of yours, was he not?
Yes, he was, Vance, for many years.
Many years. What was the matter with him?
He was a sick man. His case history is here, if you care to look at it.
Not right at the moment. In fact, I didn't find out you were his doctor until a few minutes ago when I called the Benton home. Miss Benton referred me to you.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yes, if you will, Doctor. If Mr. Benton hadn't been poisoned, how long would he have lived?
That's hard to say. As I told you, he was a pretty sick man.
Did he know that?
There wasn't anything that man didn't know, Vance. Have you or the police any idea who murdered him?
I don't know about the police, but I have a pretty good idea, I think. If you want to know how good, meet me in my office in about an hour. I'm going to have a Mr. French, Miss Benton, and the maid Dora there. And I'm sure Mr. Markham will be on hand.
I see.
But I'm particularly anxious to have you. So you'll be there, won't you? Markham, this is one of the strangest cases we've ever come across. There are 4 people in my office who wanted to see Walter Benton dead.
Yes, Martin French, Irene Benton, Dora the maid, and Dr. Larkin. But why Dr. Larkin?
Benton had an uncanny faculty for making enemies, Markham. When you called this case the Meanest man murder case, you weren't far from wrong.
No, I think I was quite accurate in that.
I wouldn't say quite that. There's a startling inaccuracy in that title, but we won't go into that right now. My private office, Markham.
I see. That is something we'll go into right now, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, Vance.
Right. Thank you, all of you, for being so patient, for waiting for us.
All right, Mr. Man.
Dora, I understand you had a nervous breakdown yesterday. You collapsed.
I do not know anything. I do not say anything.
You don't have to now. Dora, according to what you told Dr. Larkin when he visited you yesterday, you knew who killed Mr. Benton. And you indicated that he knew, too.
Who tell you this?
I told him, Dora. But I also told him you were hysterical and couldn't be responsible for what you said.
I loved Mr. Benton very much.
So I imagined from your reaction to his death. You cooked for him, Dora. You, one of the only people in this world who cared for him, could have poisoned him most easily. The only one who could have poisoned him.
I do not poison him.
Shall I take her in, Vance?
Not yet, Markham. Dora, you're fond of Miss Benton?
Miss Irene? She's like my child. My child. I bring her up.
I figured that, too. Mr. French, Miss Benton, Dr. Larkin. You all had reasons, I imagine, for wanting to see Mr. Benton dead. But none of you killed him.
What do you... Well, that Vance, what are we waiting for? You say that Dora could have poisoned Benton very easily.
That's right. She had the opportunity while cooking for him. The poison in Irene Benton's room was available to her, and she had a motive. He was being even more cruel than usual to Miss Benton. That's right, isn't it, Miss Benton?
He does not have to answer. I tell you. Yes, he was even more cruel than usual to my Miss Irene. This I cannot stand. I love him, yes, but I love her, too. Even more than I love him. I go to her room. I get bottle marked poison. I poison him. I do it.
That's that apparently, Vance. I'll take her downtown. We'll close up shop on this one.
I wouldn't if I were you, Markham. There's no question but that she fed Mr. Benton the carborium chloride, but she didn't murder him.
Well, if she didn't, who did?
Nobody murdered him, Markham. Carborium chloride was the one poison that couldn't kill Walter Benton.
unkind of you to make me wait an hour before you'd clear up this Meanest man murder case, Vance, but it was worth waiting for. Now, what was this all about?
Here are the facts, Markham. Benton knew 10 years ago he was going to die someday from an incurable illness that he had. Dr. Larkin is my authority for that statement.
I'm not questioning it, Vance.
Very well. Benton, however, was too mean to just plain die. He wanted his death to look like murder, and he wanted his niece to appear to be the murderess.
But why, Vance?
A grudge he held against her father for some reason or other. That's not important. But this is. Dr. Larkin told me that his laboratory tests indicate that 10 years ago he started taking carborium chloride in small doses, increasing the dose every week. His body thus became immune to it.
Immune to poison?
That's right. I checked it thoroughly. There are two kinds of poison, Markham. Cumulative and non-cumulative. In one of the classifications, the human body can build up an immunity if subjected to the poison in tiny doses at the beginning. Later on, the dose can be increased without danger to the subject. Right here in a book on toxicology, if you'd care to read it.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, thank you. Anyhow, Markham, when your medical examiner found a quantity of carborium chloride in the dead man, he made the very natural assumption that it was the poison that caused death. What happened was this. Benton felt himself dying.
Excuse me for interrupting, but how is that?
Again, Dr. Larkin is my authority. Dr. Larkin told me he had told Benton that death in his case would be preceded by a sharp pain, a sort of warning a few hours before death was to occur.
I see. Then Benton did know he was about to die.
Right. And knowing that he had a quantity of carborium chloride in him, made the dramatic entrance and exit from this world at the police station. He knew then that he was accusing his niece of murder without ever indicting her.
Why the niece particularly?
Because she used carborium chloride in her work in textile designing. Used a lot for dyes. In fact, Benton used Irene's own chemicals when he began systematically building up a resistance to the carborium. It was quite a clever plan. We're lucky it didn't work.
We most certainly are. You were the reason it didn't work, Vance. You were the only way we'd ever have known that the Meanest man murder case wasn't a murder case at all.
Come on, keep it moving, you guys. What are you doing? Setting up a roadblock? Get those cars going. Hey, lady, what are you doing? You'll get yourself killed running through that traffic.
Please come with me now. Something terrible's happened. Hurry.
Now, what is it that's so terrible, Chickadee?
I'm manicurist in the barber shop right over there. Man came in for manicure about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, is that so awful, little one?
Well, he seemed to be in pain. When I was almost finished, he seemed to be trying to stay conscious, but he kept telling me to hurry.
Well?
A minute ago, he keeled over in the chair. I think he's dying.
And what makes you think so, may I ask?
I noticed blood in his coat. He was bleeding to death. Said he'd been shot. That's why I ran over to get you.
He was dying and he insisted on getting a manicure? We'll see what this is all about. Is this the shop?
Yeah, it is.
All right now. Where's this fella who's supposed to be dying?
He isn't supposed to be dying anymore, officer. He's dead.
He
'Cause
Tell me honestly, Vance, did you ever hear of anything so completely unreasonable?
A dying man insisting on a manicure?
Yes.
No, Markham, I never did. But I'm glad you called me in on the case.
I had to call you in. Despite the fact that I'm district attorney and have a very capable police force functioning, I'm sure this case will be a test for even your talents.
You know who the dead man was?
Yes, a scientist named Edgar Wilson. But we have no idea who shot him, or why, or for that matter, where.
I understand that you don't know, but what theories have you, Markham?
Theories? What theories could anybody have? Sergeant Heath has a fantastically fictional idea that there was a code message on the man's fingernails, and he wanted that message covered by liquid polish when he felt himself dying.
That would be something new, wouldn't it?
I suppose. What ideas do you have?
Well,
Hello, D.A.
Sergeant Heath. You don't look very happy.
I wonder why. Hi, Vance.
Heath?
What's the trouble, Heath?
Trouble? Oh, I got no trouble. I just got a murdered guy who wanted a manicure on my hands, that's all.
Seems to me he wanted the manicure on his hands.
What?
I'm sorry.
Please. What about your theory that there was a code message written on the fingernails? What have you done about that?
I had the laboratory put some polish remover on the guy's nails. Polish came off all right, but there was nothing written on them.
But isn't it possible that whatever was written came off when the polish remover was applied?
Hey, I never thought of that. Holy cow, if that's what happened, I'm the prize bonehead in the department.
All right, now take
I
it
ought to
easy.
kick myself all over.
Don't do it on account of the polish remover here.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure there was nothing on the victim's nails.
That makes me feel better. Hey, how do you know there was nothing on him?
I don't know. I just don't believe there was. And I have good reason.
As usual.
The DA here is president of your fan club, Vance, but I'm not even a member. I want to know the reason why that guy got a manicure as he was dying, if it wasn't to cover up something.
I might be able to tell you that, Heath. I have an idea I'll be able to tell you the secret of Edgar Wilson's fingernails just as soon as I have his killer under my thumb.
All I gotta say is...
That's all you ever gotta say. What makes you so sleepy?
Who knows?
It's a wonder to me you didn't fall asleep when you shot that scientist guy, Edgar Wilson, this morning.
Who said I was awake?
Oh, you dope.
If I was awake, I'd have plugged him so good he wouldn't have moved. This way, he lived long enough to make it to some barber shop, papers say.
Well, he didn't talk, so we got nothing to worry about. All I got... hey, you got me doing it.
Stop cutting in on my racket.
Ah, you.
How much further we got to go?
This is it. The first shack off the road down there. You see it? I guess that means yes. Our orders are to go in and look around for a bottle marked Experiment X.
Experiment eggs?
X, you dope, like in ecstasy.
Hey, I seen that picture with that gal, what's her name?
Some name for a girl. Come on, Sleepy, out. And cut that out. You're making me sleepy.
So what is that, bad? Any chance of there being anybody in this shack?
You know better than that. The guys we work for know what the score is. They said Wilson would be alone when we got there to plug him. He was. They said there would be nobody in this shack. There won't be nobody.
That's okay with me. I ain't in the mood for company. See if the door's locked.
It is. Come on, let's bust it in.
You do it. I'll stay here and watch.
Come on, Sleepy. I'll need help.
Okay.
Now. Once more.
Must we? Okay, let's do it.
Hold it a second, Sleepy.
A pleasure.
Just till I get this flashlight out of my pocket. There we are. Now for a look around.
Hey, there's a row of bottles over on that shelf.
Yeah, so I see. Well, all we got to do is find one marked Experiment X.
Like an ecstasy. Sure was a great picture.
On that, I agree.
There was one scene in it where
Sleepy, there's the bottle we want. Right here on the second shelf. You see it?
Yeah.
Experiment X. Let's grab it and get out of here so we can collect our dough.
You grab it. I'd have to reach up a little.
Okay, here we go. Come to Papa, little Bob.
Well, tell me, you fool. Tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, it was like this. I did what you told me. When the Miller brothers killed Professor Wilson for you, I followed them to make sure there was no slip-up.
What happened when they went after the explosive?
I'm trying to tell you. I followed their car. I saw them stop. I saw them break down the door and go into the shack.
They found Wilson's laboratory. Good. Then what happened?
Well, then they were inside for a while, a minute maybe. Then all of a sudden there was a big explosion, and then no more shack, no more Miller Brothers.
So they found Experiment X, did they?
I guess they did.
But Professor Wilson was smart. He probably knew an attempt would be made to steal it. He had the container wired so that it set off the explosive.
I guess that's what it was.
Very clever, the professor. Even after he was dead, he managed to take care of the men who shot him. Oh, well. I have another plan.
What's that?
I must find out about Experiment X. And I think I know who can tell me. Professor Wilson had an assistant. I wonder how she's going to like assisting me.
No, I'm sorry, Sergeant Heath.
But can't
There's
you...
nothing I can tell you that I haven't already told you about my employer.
Oh, now look, Miss Rainey. Professor Wilson must have been working on something extra special. Something that somebody didn't want him to finish, so they killed him.
If he was, I didn't know about it. Now, please, Sergeant Heath, it's late and I've got to leave here. I have my coat on and my hat on and I'm expected home. If I think of anything that can help you, I'll phone you.
Okay. Goodbye.
Well, that's that.
I beg your pardon. Oh. I'm sorry I startled you. My name is Vance, Philo Vance. I'm a private investigator.
Oh, yes, I know about you.
Oh?
Are you working on Professor Wilson's murder?
I will work on it when I can find something tangible to start with. Do you mind if I walk a little way with you?
All right. It's a dark street, and I'm glad of the company. Is there something I can tell you that will help you?
You'd know that better than I.
I just told Sergeant Heath on the telephone that I didn't know what Professor Wilson was working on. If that's what you mean.
But you must know. You were his assistant, as I understand.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that I know...
Just stop right where you are.
Well, you...
What's
Please
the idea?
do not turn around, either of you. That's good. I don't want to use my gun. That's bad.
That's no lie. What do you want?
Not you, whoever you are. I merely want this young lady,
You want
Miss Doris Rainey, I believe your name is, to accompany me.
No.
Apparently, she has neither the desire nor the intention, so I think I'll...
Oh! Stop it! Stop it! You are biting my hand!
Help me!
Oh.
Help me! Don't let him get me in the car!
Oh, brother, what fell on me? That car. You! Stop! Stop! Oh, license number 162857. Well, my friend, whoever you are, you got the girl. But I've got your number.
Yes, Vance, I'm having the license number you gave me checked right now. You're sure you're not hurt badly?
I have a slight headache, but I'll be all right, and I guarantee I'll be a bigger headache to whoever hit me on the head.
Sergeant Heath is checking the number. He'll buzz me in a minute. You say they kidnapped the girl who was walking with you?
Yes, but I'm sure they won't harm her, for a while anyway. And by that time, with the help of the license checkup, I ought to have found them.
You're lucky you got to look at the plates.
Markham, I always get at least one lucky break on a case. Otherwise, I'd fail dismally in most of them.
I think otherwise. Just a minute, Vance. That's probably Heath now.
I'll hold on.
Right. Yes?
This is Heath, DA.
Yes, Heath. I have Vance on the phone now, waiting for the name and address of the owner of that license number.
Well, he's going to have a long wait.
What do you mean?
There's no such number listed, that's what I mean.
What?
Vance either got the number wrong or the car had phony plates.
Well, if it's one of those two possibilities, I'm sure the plates were counterfeit. Thanks, Heath. Hello, Vance.
Yes, I heard Heath, Markham. All I can say is that maybe I do always get one lucky break on a case. But apparently, that license number isn't it.
Already I'm losing patience with you, Miss Rainey. Apparently twisting your arm does no good.
Oh, if I ever get off this chair,
You will do nothing. You're tied securely, and I will untie you only when I am good and ready. It's very annoying, very unmusical, and cannot help you in the least little bit. This house of mine is far out in the country. Nobody can hear you. Now, will you tell me what I want to know?
How can I tell you if I don't know?
Again, the same speech, always the same speech. You know about Experiment X. You worked with Wilson. You were with him in everything he did.
No.
You know about Experiment X.
No.
You'll tell me. You'll tell me. Do you hear? You will tell me.
Oh, leave me alone. Please leave me alone. I don't know anything about the experiment, except that Professor Wilson was working on it.
This much I know, too. He wouldn't talk when I sent 2 men to persuade him. They shot him. I knew about his shack in the mountains. My men went there, but they were killed in an explosion. But Wilson had another laboratory. Where is it?
I don't know. I keep telling you, I don't know.
That is a lie, and you will tell me.
No.
You must.
All right. All right, I do have something to tell you.
Ah, good.
Do you know the man who was with me? Do you know who he was?
I'm not interested.
You will be. He was Philo Vance. Did you ever hear of Philo Vance?
Oh, that was Philo Vance, huh? What about it? He never saw my face. And if he did see the license plates in my car, it'll do him no good, for I changed 2 of the numbers myself.
You changed?
No matter who he is, he can never find me.
We'll see.
Miss Rainey, I lose patience again talking to you. Wilson was working on an explosive he called Experiment X. It was a liquid. That much we know. What was the formula?
I never knew the formula.
That is possible, but you know where there is some of that liquid?
No, I don't.
Some that my chemist can analyze? Where is that place? Where? Where?
I'll never tell you.
Brave words. But you've been here only a few hours. All I've done so far is to twist your arm a little. That is nothing compared to what will happen to you, Miss Rainey. Don't forget nobody has any idea where you are. Nobody can possibly rescue you.
What about it?
I have an idea how to make you tell me what I want to know. Miss Rainey, it's my suggestion that you talk. While you still have a tongue to talk with.
This is District Attorney Markham. The manicure murder case opened when Professor Edgar Wilson, scientist, died in a barber shop after insisting the girl manicure his nails, even though he was dying. We have no explanation for this, no clue to the professor's killer as yet, although Philo Vance did have an encounter with an individual whom we believe was the brains behind the murder. In an effort to work out some tangible lead to that individual, Vance is in my office.
Where do I begin, Markham? A simple question like that has me stopped completely on this case.
A simple answer might be in order, Vance, but I don't have it. Either a simple or a complex answer. All I can tell you is I don't know.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Professor Wilson wanted a manicure when he was dying. Why?
You said you thought you knew the reason.
Let's say I still think I know the reason. How do I prove what I think?
There's one way, and Vance, it might be the answer to that question you asked.
About where do I begin?
Yes.
Well, I'm listening. What's the one way?
Why not check back at the barber shop where Wilson died? Perhaps that shop has some connection with his death and the reason he insisted on having his nails done.
Good idea, Markham. That's where I'm going, for a little interview with that barbershop manicurist. Maybe I'll even let her do my nails. Maybe having her hold my hand will help me make heads or tails out of this case.
Well, how do you like 'em? Long, short, or half and half?
Suit yourself.
Mister, if I suited myself, I'd pack you in right now.
Well,
I'm tired. You don't need no manicure.
really?
What you come in for? Keep out of the rain?
It's not raining.
And you don't need no manicure. So, here we are back where we started.
Maybe I'd better introduce myself. I'm Philo Vance.
Oh, it's okay. I'm swooning. It takes me a little time to faint. So you're Vance. So what?
So I understand you're the young lady who manicured Professor Wilson's nails as he was dying.
That's right. You ain't figuring on kicking off, are you?
Not just yet. I want to know what he told you when he came in.
When he came in, he sat down, stuck out his hand. He said, give me a manicure fast.
There was colorless liquid polish on his nails. You put it on?
Sure. Like I said, he said, give me a manicure fast. I said, long, short, or in between. He said, short. So, well, I filed them and finished them up. About all. Except when I see he's about to pass out, I beat it out of the shop and pick up the traffic cop in the corner.
Thank you very much.
Hey, where you going? Manicure you didn't need ain't finished.
I know, and neither is the case I'm working on. But after what you've told me, it will be finished. And very soon.
Hello, D.A.
Come in, Heath, come in. Or am I a little late with my invitation?
What's the difference? Better late than never, I always say.
I always say something about an early bird. I can't remember right now what the rest of it is. What's on your mind, Heath?
All right, if I sit down.
Apparently. What's that paper in your hand?
This? Oh, it's a teletype report on an explosion out in the suburbs. 2 men were killed when a shack blew up. We checked on the car they were driving. We think we know who they were.
Yes?
Yeah, Miller brothers, Sleepy and Joe. Hired killers. We can't figure...
Excuse me, Heath.
Yeah, sure.
District Attorney Markham speaking.
Vance, Markham.
Hello there.
Markham, I just left the barber shop where Professor Wilson had his nails manicured.
Yes?
You remember I thought I knew why he had them done as he was dying?
You had an idea about it, yes.
It's now a conviction. I want you to find out for me if the professor was working on some new invention that was in a liquid form. A new process, an explosive, something along those lines.
I don't know how I can, Vance. As you know, Wilson's girl assistant was kidnapped and he left no records. Wait a minute.
Yes?
There were 2 men, hired killers, who met their death in an explosion in a shack in the suburbs, Sergeant Heath just told me. You think that might tie up with our case?
It might, and it's worth a gamble.
Right.
We've got to work fast now, or that girl assistant might be killed by whoever is responsible for Wilson's death. He won't believe she doesn't know what the professor was working on.
What do we do about it?
We'll take one long shot, Markham. I'll need your help.
All right.
Did you know Professor Wilson had an assistant named Dr. Blake?
No, I didn't.
Well, he didn't have. But I don't believe anybody knows that. Or the fact that I'm going to be in touch with Dr. Blake, who is going to make a killer take his medicine.
You are so obstinate, Miss Rainey. So very obstinate.
Please. Please, can I have some water?
You can have anything you want after you tell me what I must know. Wilson was working on an explosive. He called it Experiment X. What were the components of Experiment X?
Please, a little water, just a
Where
little...
can I get a sample of Experiment X? A drop will do. The smallest possible sample. My chemist can analyze it and break it down. Tell me.
I don't know.
There's some way to make you talk. Some way you'll tell me what I want to know. Ah. You're a nice girl, Miss Rainey. Very nice girl, and you have a mother.
You wouldn't dare go near her. The police will be protecting her. Philo Vance will figure that you'll try to make me talk to her. You leave my mother alone.
Oh, so that is the way.
No.
Good. Now I can... Who is it?
It's me, Andy. It's important.
Come. What is it?
Look, this newspaper. Look at it.
Let me have it. What is it I'm to look for?
On the first page, the item in the corner.
Dead scientist assistant arrives tonight. This one?
Oh, read it.
Dr. William Blake, noted scientist in his own right and former assistant to the late Professor Edgar Wilson, arrives at Main Street Station at midnight tonight. Dr. Blake announced upon leaving his hometown that he was coming here to continue the experiment started by Professor Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Blake declared that he has a complete knowledge of them, having been in constant contact via long-distance phone with Professor Wilson for months. Oh, you, knew Dr. Blake, Miss Rainey?
I don't know what you're talking about.
For a girl who was smart enough to be Professor Wilson's assistant, you have a terrible memory. Perhaps now we don't need you,
You won't need me.
Andy.
Yeah?
I think we should be ready to leave here very shortly. You and I have to meet the midnight train. And Dr. William Blake.
comes, fellas. Hey, get your cameras ready. Dr. Blake.
Yes?
Please hold it while we get some pictures.
Hurry then. It's very late, and I'm very anxious to get to my
It
hotel.
won't take a minute, Dr. Blake. Okay, boys, come on. Grab your shots now. And just one more, please, Dr. Blake. Hold it. Thank you. Thank you very
Now,
much.
is it all right, gentlemen, please?
Sure, Doc. Go ahead. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. I'll be at the Carlton Hotel if your newspaper should want me.
Thanks, Doc. I think the boss will send a man up to see you to find out what you're going to work on.
I shall see him. Good night.
Good night.
Dr. Blake?
Yes? Who are you? And your friend?
It doesn't matter who I am or who he is, either. You will kindly not make any disturbance, but come along quietly with us.
I don't understand.
Who will, dear sir? You were Professor Wilson's assistant. You knew what project he was working on, the secret of his Experiment X.
Yes, of course.
Take his arm, Andy. Hold it tightly.
Okay. Take your hands off
Hey, his beard, it's fallen off. This is a trick. Come on, let's get away from here.
Not so fast. I think I can hold you two. Markham, hurry. Vance.
So you're Philo Vance. This was a trick.
Yes, and you fell for it, my friend.
All right, Vance, I'll take this lad here. Hold on to your man.
Nobody holds on to me. I got away.
I make you stay like this.
Oh, nice work, Vance. This fellow I'm holding gave me no trouble at all.
Oh, that was no trouble, Markham. Hitting my friend was fun. Let's get him up, get him out of here. And I'll be ready to tell you why Professor Wilson insisted that his nails be done even though he knew he was done for. Markham, my friend, I'm beginning to believe you're a very persuasive young man.
How do you mean, Vance?
You persuaded those men we picked up at the railroad station to tell you where they were holding Professor Wilson's assistant, Doris Rainey.
That was relatively easy. Besides, I wouldn't have had a chance to work on them if you hadn't found them for me.
They found me, Markham, just as I hoped they would when we had the newspapers print the arrival of the entirely fictitious Dr. Blake.
They certainly did.
You know, of course, if my beard hadn't come loose, I'd have gone along with them.
Yes, and I would have followed you as per our plan.
Yes.
Vance, you said that I was persuasive.
That's right.
Could I persuade you to get around to telling me why Professor Wilson wanted his nails manicured?
Certainly. Let's go back a little, though.
All right.
Wilson was working on his Experiment X, an explosive.
Yes.
We know that now. It was a liquid. We know that, too. The man who kidnapped Miss Rainey hired 2 men to shoot him, which they did.
But they didn't kill him. He ran from them and got to the barber shop. I know that much.
Markham, Wilson had some of his Experiment X under his fingernails. The manicurist told me his nails were long. We know he was working with a liquid. The smallest quantity of Experiment X, if it fell into the wrong hands, would be sufficient for his killers to find its formula.
I see. He had his nails filed so any evidence of the formula that might have been under them would be lost.
Exactly.
Oh.
Sergeant Heath's theory that something might have been written on the fingernails was an impractical one. If Wilson had had time to write anything on his nails, he would have had time to tell what he had written to the manicurist or the barber.
Yes.
I knew it wasn't that.
So you said at the beginning of this little adventure.
Yes, I did. And now I say it's the end of our little adventure. The end of the manicure murder case.
Don't you dare, see? Don't you dare!
Laura, it's for your own good. He's no good. Everybody knows he's no good.
I don't need a nursemaid, and if I did, it wouldn't be you.
Laura, don't you see?
I happen to like Eddie Mills. I like him very much, and I'm going to see him as much and as often as I want to. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to be an awful lot.
Laura, be reasonable.
Reasonable? What makes you think you're reasonable? What right have you to dictate to me? John, I've got to look out for myself. All right, you love me, so you say.
I do. Laura, listen.
All right, you love me, you want to marry me. How much do you make as a chemist?
$3,000 a year, but I've been promised...
$3,000 a year, but you've been promised a raise. Well, that's fine. That's great. Eddie Mills makes $3,000 a month.
But he isn't for you, Laura. Can't I make you see that? Don't you realize he...
Oh, stop the lecture for a minute. Hello?
Laura, this is Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. Hello, honey.
What's going on that I should know about, Laurie?
I can't tell you. It'll flatter you too much.
Take a chance. Come on, tell me.
Can't.
Somebody there?
That's right.
That jealous boyfriend of yours?
The first part's right. But you've taken over the second part.
Well, thanks. Say, what's he look like, this chemistry genius?
I'll tell you when I see you. He wanted to know the same thing about you.
Get off that phone.
Maybe I can meet him someday.
Oh, shut up, John. I'll see you later, Eddie, and I'll talk to you then. Okay?
Sure, baby. Anything you say. I'll be over at the usual time. Bye.
Bye.
Laura, listen.
Oh.
I don't want to fight with you. All I want to do is show you how wrong you are about Eddie Mills. He's
Yeah?
not serious. You're just another girl in his life.
You think so?
Of course, he'll throw you over as soon as a new girl comes along.
I don't believe it. But he better not. He knows what's good for him. He better not. If you know what's good for you, you'll stay out of my affairs.
I'm not interested in what's good for me. I only care about what's good for you, and it's not Eddie Mills. And I'm going to do something about it.
Well, Mr. Mills, you sent for me. I'm here. Let's get down to business.
Suits me, Joe. You've got quite a reputation, I understand.
I do a job, I get paid, and I get things done.
That's why I sent for you. I want something done. But I want it done carefully.
If I wasn't careful, Mr. Mills, I'd be in jail long ago. I'm careful, I'm quick, and I'm expensive.
How much?
How much is it worth to you?
Let's not go into that kind of routine. How much do you want to do a big job for me?
How important is the guy?
Very important. The guy is me.
You want me to kill you?
No, not exactly. I want you to see that nobody else does. I got a lot of enemies. I'm hiring you as a bodyguard.
Oh, I get it now. I'm to be with you all the time, huh?
That's right. Except for the times when I'm out for a social evening. Like tonight when I'm going to see a girlfriend of mine named Laura Waite.
Okay. You got a deal, Mr. Mills. Only when you're fooling around with dames, that's the time you need a bodyguard most.
Evening to you, Tony. Good evening.
How you was it, Pat? You want to turn in the crank on this organ of mine for a while?
No. No, thank you. Got my own job to do, Tony. The only difference between you and me is that your arm gets tired and my legs get tired from standing out in front of this apartment house.
You keep it busy tonight, Pat?
Don't think I've called 3 taxis for people all night.
200 apartments in this building, but very few people going in or out this evening. It looks like it's going to be a mean night, Tony.
Hey, the stormers are coming up, Pat. You hear that?
Yeah.
Stormers are coming up as sure as I'm talking to you.
That's more than a summer storm that's giving me this creepy feeling, Tony. It's like something closing in on the street. So hot and close.
That's all right.
Can't tell exactly what it is.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Pat. Guess I just waited this hurdy-gurdy man down at the block a little. See you on the way back.
See you later, Tony. Oh, evening, sir. Get your cab?
Not right now. Whew. Close out tonight, isn't it?
'Tis that. Say, you're Mr. Mills, aren't you?
That's right. You got a good memory.
Sure. I've seen you call on Miss Waite lots of times. I always remember names and faces. How is Miss Waite? Haven't seen her tonight.
She was all right when I left her just now. I'm gonna smoke a cigar. You got a match?
Sure.
Never mind. I got some of my own. Pretty sure I have. I forgot for a minute.
You know, it's a funny thing about tonight. Tony, that's the fellow with the hurdy.
Oh! Get a doctor.
Mr. Mills.
Somebody get a doctor.
Mr. Mills.
I've been shot.
Help! Help! Somebody help! There's been a murder! Help! Police! Help!
Miss Deering?
Yes, Mr. Vance. Ready to continue with the notes on the butterfly murder case?
Not at the moment. I've been asked to write a paper on trapping criminals from the private investigator's viewpoint. Think I ought to do it?
I don't know why not. Good publicity.
Perhaps, but in citing case histories, I might give someone with a criminal mind a good idea of what to avoid if he wants to get away with murder.
That sounds logical, Vance.
On the other hand, if I point out how the most carefully planned crimes have been exploded by deduction and reasoning, it might serve as a warning.
Look, Vance, stop switching logic on me. You're making it impossible for me to agree with you.
I'm sorry, Miss Deering. However, I didn't hire you as my secretary assistant to agree with me. I rather thought that... Well, hello, Markham. Come on in.
Hi, Mr. Markham.
Glad you're in, Vance. Hello, Miss Deering. How are you?
Fine, I think. I'll have to ask Vance to make sure. How am I, Mr. Vance?
You are excellent.
I am excellent.
Good. Vance, may I talk to you for a moment? I don't have much time.
District attorneys are always in a hurry. What's on your mind, Markham?
A murder, Vance, a mysterious murder. A gangster named Eddie Mills was killed last night. The story will be in the afternoon papers.
Let me have it now. I'd rather listen than read.
All right. He was coming out of the Darling Apartments. It was a dark night, you remember, and as I understand it, the streetlights were out. Lightning had hit the power.
Well?
Mills came out, spoke to the doorman a moment, lit a match to apply it to his cigar, and a shot rang out from somewhere and killed him.
I see. The light from the match showed Mills' face and the killer shot.
That's the normal explanation of what happened, Vance. But our police experts have figured that the killer stood far down the block, too far for him to recognize Mills' features.
Oh? Well, then there's the possibility that Mills was killed by mistake.
That's rather a remote possibility. Too many people wanted him dead. In addition to his underworld enemies, we happen to know that he was seeing a girl named Laura Waite, much to the displeasure of her boyfriend, Johnny Martin.
As I understand it, there was no way for the killer to know it was Eddie Mills that was lighting his cigar.
None whatsoever, unless the doorman signaled somebody. The doorman was standing next to Mills when he was shot.
You can forget that. The doorman wouldn't be fool enough to risk being hit by a bullet that you say was fired from down the block. If he had identified, or rather put the finger on Mills, he'd have gone inside the lobby or out of range in any event.
Yeah, well, that's true, of course, now that you mention it. One other angle, Vance, and then I'm through with information. A hurdy-gurdy man had just passed the apartment door and was standing down the street a bit when the shot was fired.
You have a description of him?
They have down at headquarters, but I was in such a hurry to come over here, I just glanced at it. About 45, dark, and his name is Tony.
Well, that will do as a starter, Markham. Thanks for letting me in on the case. Oh, Miss Deering.
Yes, Mr. Vance.
I'm going out. Have you anything to do while I'm gone?
That all depends. How long will you be gone?
Until I find the killer in the hurdy-gurdy murder case.
in his cup.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, look, Bill. Look at the way the cute little monkey lifts his cap. I'm going to give him another dime.
It was a like.
I want to see him do it again. There.
All right, maybe stop it. Give me your hand.
Look at him. Isn't he cute?
Thank you, hey. Thank you very...
Look at the organ grinder. Help somebody. Look at the organ grinder. He's got his knife stuck in his leg.
Look, Miss Wade, I've come to your apartment because I'm convinced you can help us. There have been 2 murders in the last 24 hours, and you are the key to both of them.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Markham. I know Eddie Mills had a lot of enemies, but that poor organ grinder, I've never seen him, and I don't know why anybody should have wanted to kill him.
Let's get down to cases. Maybe we can get something that way. Are you quarreled with your friend Johnny Martin about Eddie Mills? That's right, isn't it?
Yes.
We're looking for Martin now, but I want to establish one fact first. Did Martin know what Mills looked like?
No, they'd never seen each other. Johnny asked me for a description of Eddie, but I wouldn't give it to him.
You wouldn't tell him what Mills looked like because you were afraid of what Johnny Martin might do?
Yes. Johnny insisted that Eddie was no good for me, and how right he was.
What do you mean?
Eddie Mills came to see me the night he was murdered to tell me that he couldn't see me for a while, that he was going to be too busy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a back exit to this apartment?
Yes, there is. It's through the kitchen.
Then you might have gone out the back way, slipped down the stairs, and... Oh, hello, Vance.
Hello, Markham. And this is Miss Laura Waite, I imagine.
That's right.
I'm Philo Vance, Miss Waite.
Uh-huh.
I heard your voice in here, Markham, so I came right in.
It's all right, Vance. It's all right. While the police are looking for John Martin, I decided to question Miss Waite again.
Only to find she claims to know nothing about the murder of either Eddie Mills or the hurdy-gurdy man.
So far. I'm inclined to believe that when we pick up Martin, we'll start getting some results.
Perhaps. But I'll tell you where Martin is right now if you want to know.
Want to know? Of course I want to know. Where is he?
At headquarters.
What?
Oh?
I was at headquarters in the fingerprint department when they brought Martin in. I guess they didn't know where to reach you.
Well, that's a relief. I was afraid for a moment that was going to be another of your long-range predictions.
Oh, no, Martin. As I understand it, they picked Martin up as he was leaving his chemistry shop. I was more interested in whether any fingerprints were found on the knife that killed Tony, the organ grinder.
Don't tell me there were.
Were there, Mr. Vance?
No, but that may mean something just the same. Right now, I'd like to know this. Granted that Eddie Mills was not shot by mistake, how could a killer know it was he who stood outside this apartment building?
He might have had a description of Mills.
It would do no good at the distance the killer stood when he fired. No, it was something else. When I find what that something else is, I'll know better what my next step is.
What interests me is why the organ grinder was killed. Anyone could have done it. There was a crowd around him, and anyone could have slipped a knife into him without being seen. But why? Why kill the organ grinder?
That seems quite simple on the surface, Markham. He was on the street when the killer fired the shot that murdered Eddie Mills. The organ grinder was removed because the killer believed the organ grinder had seen him.
But that's impossible, Vance.
Is it? I don't see how.
The organ grinder couldn't possibly have seen the murderer the night before.
Because the night was black and the street lights were out?
No, Vance. Because the hurdy-gurdy man was totally blind. This is District Attorney Markham. The hurdy-gurdy murder case opened with the shooting of Eddie Mills, racket chief. Mills, we have learned, had incurred the enmity of Johnny Martin, sweetheart of Laura Waite, when he took Laura away from Johnny. But then, according to Laura herself, decided he'd be too busy to see her for a while. Mills was killed from a distance on a dark street on a dark night, just as he attempted to light a cigar. And an organ grinder on the same street was murdered the next day. I have left Vance with Laura Waite while I've gone to investigate a report that a hired killer was gunning for Mills. It is a little later.
What am I supposed to do, Vance? Break down and confess just because you sit there staring at me?
No. And although I'd like to compliment you, Miss Waite, I wasn't staring at you. I was thinking.
Oh, you would like to compliment me, though, hmm? Well, that's something.
I imagine there's quite a good deal I could say. Your color scheme, for one thing. very admirable.
Oh? You like green?
When it isn't overdone. Excellent contrast for your black hair, Miss Waite.
I didn't think you'd notice anything personal about me.
Oh, please, Miss Waite, let's understand something. I was a man long before I was a private investigator. You're very attractive.
That's funny. You know, I was thinking the same thing about you. Maybe you and I ought to do something about that, Vance.
Any suggestions?
What's on your mind, Vance?
Right at the moment, my mind is being completely uncomplimentary.
Oh?
It wants to know whether you knew the organ grinder who was murdered.
No, I never saw him in my life. I liked the subject we were discussing much better than the new one, Vance. Couldn't we just... Oh. Johnny. Johnny, I thought you were at police headquarters.
I'm out on bail. They had nothing to hold me on. I came straight here, Laura.
Oh, this is Mr. Philo Vance, Johnny. John Martin, Philo Vance.
How do you do? You're quite tall, Miss Waite. I've been meaning to comment on that. How tall are you?
Oh, 5'10". Almost as tall as Johnny.
He's about 6'2", I imagine. And I also imagine you'd like to know what that has to do with the solution of the hurdy-gurdy murder case.
That's not our business. It's yours and the police's.
Tony, the organ grinder, was a big man, too. I should say he was at least 6 feet tall.
Well, what about it?
Nothing. Nothing right at the moment. Miss Waite, I have to apologize again for this mind of mine. It goes off on tangents with little or no provocation.
Anytime it goes off on a tangent that includes me, Mr. Vance, come back. I'll be delighted to see you.
Well, Vance, we got one break on this case anyhow. That's the reason I phoned for you to come right down here.
What happened, Markham?
You know that Eddie Mills had a lot of enemies, underworld enemies. In fact, he'd been threatened, we understand. Now, we've picked up a hired killer named Joe Egan, and we're holding him inside.
Really? How tall is this Egan?
Oh, I don't know, 5'5" or so.
Well, in that case, I don't believe he had anything to do with our murders, Markham.
I don't understand.
I'm positive that whoever killed Eddie Mills killed the organ grinder. A knife was used on the organ grinder. It was found slanted downward, high on his back, between the shoulder blades.
You think only a tall person could have stabbed him? Suppose he was bending over.
Ever see the handle on a hurdy-gurdy, Markham? It's placed so that the right hand can turn it when the operator is in an upright position. No, Tony wasn't bending over when he was stabbed.
Tell me one thing, and I'll wait until you're ready to explain the rest. Why was Tony murdered?
Because the murderer didn't know he was blind. The killer thought Tony might have seen the shooting of Eddie Mills.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure. Well, what's our next move, Vance?
I'll tell you what I want you to do, Markham. As soon as it gets dark, meet me in front of Laura Waite's apartment house.
You'd rather I didn't ask why, of course.
Not at all. I'm going to prove something to you. I'm going to prove how a murderer recognized Eddie Mills when he couldn't possibly see his face.
Johnny, you busy in the laboratory?
Little bit. Why?
A fellow named Philo Vance out here. He wants to see you.
Oh, let him come in. Thanks.
You can go in, Mr. Vance.
Thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Martin.
Vance? Tracking down the wild chemist in his native haunts?
Something like that. Quite a laboratory you have here.
It belongs to the firm. I only work here. How can I help you?
I want you to check some facts. Are you familiar with salt of barium nitrate?
Reasonably. Why?
What would happen if it were placed in combination with red phosphorus, Sb2, S3, and a combustible like potassium chloride?
You're a clever man, Vance. What can you prove now that you know?
Nothing yet, Mr. Martin. But you said I was a clever man, so you wouldn't want to wager I won't be able to prove it, would you?
No, sir, Mr. Markham. I've been at the door here all evening like always, and I ain't seen a sign of Mr. Vance.
That's odd, Pat. He said he'd see me here as soon as it got dark, and that's been over a half hour. I guess he'll be along soon, though.
I guess so.
Yes. You ever get bored standing here at night, Pat?
Oh, sometimes. Sometimes some of the tenants come along and we talk. Sometimes visitors stop to chat a while. Tony, the hurdy-gurdy man, he and I used to talk quite a bit evenings. He sure was a nice fella.
Favorite around here?
Oh, with everybody that knew him. Take that Miss Laura Waite's boyfriend. What's his name?
You mean John Martin?
Ah, that's the fella.
Yes.
He used to talk to Tony a couple of minutes every time he saw him. But I sure hope you find out who killed Tony, Mr. Martin. I say there's a cab stopping out front. I'll go open the door.
That's Vance and his secretary, Miss Deering. Oh, Vance.
Hello, Markham.
Finally got here, eh?
Sorry I'm late.
Hi, Mr. Markham. We're both sorry.
It's all right.
I had to see John Martin at his laboratory and then go back to my apartment to do some elementary chemistry. Miss Deering will demonstrate.
Now?
That's right. You go up to the doorway of the Darling Apartments.
Yes.
Stand there, wait 50 seconds, and then do as I told you.
Right, Vance.
Now, Markham, come with me and we'll take care of the elementary part of the hurdy-gurdy murder case.
All right.
In other words, I'll show you how a killer recognized Eddie Mills without seeing him.
I have the street lights out, just as you asked.
So I noticed. The situation is the same as it was the murder night. We're walking to approximately the same spot where the police experts believe the murderer stood.
Yes, it's not much further down the street.
I know. As soon as we get there, we're both going to watch the doorway where Miss Deering is standing. Although we can't see her now because of the darkness.
Yes, I know. Oh, Vance, Pat, the doorman, was telling me what a favorite the dead organ grinder was with everybody, including John Martin.
Really? Well, that's very interesting. Well, now let's see. This is about the spot where Eddie Mills' killer must have stood.
I'd say so, yes.
And it's just about 50 seconds since Miss Deering walked to the door. Watch, Markham.
All right, but I don't see... Vance, a match was just struck at the doorway.
Notice anything peculiar about it?
Yes, it burned with a green flame. What is that?
That is the way the killer knew it was Eddie Mills who stood outside the doorway, Markham. That green flame. I only want to know one more thing before I turn our murderer over to you. Just one more thing. And Joe Egan, the hired gunman, can tell me that. Let's go see him.
Questions. All I hear is questions. 5 hours now, and cops just ask me questions. They get the same answers to the same questions, but they ask them over and over again. And you're no better than them, Markham.
Now, Joe.
You asked the same ones they did.
Maybe I'll ask some different ones.
You're no better than the cops, Vance. You and your reputation.
Joe, Mr. Markham has your record. You're wanted in 3 different cities.
So?
You're going to be sent back to one of them. All I'm asking is this. Were you ever in Miss Waite's apartment?
That I'll answer. No, I never was, and that's no kid.
That's what I thought. And now, Markham, one more visit to the girl's apartment and you can have your killer and the proof you'll need for a conviction. Miss Waite, you quarreled with Eddie Mills, didn't you?
What if I did, Vance?
Just asking in passing, that's all.
Oh.
And you, Mr. Martin, you had strong reason for disliking Mills.
Well, all right, go on.
Don't be belligerent, Mr. Martin. I'm merely being factual. I'm making no accusations. Yet. I want to describe why and how Tony, the hurdy-gurdy man, was killed. And in so doing, prove who our double murderer is.
Go on, Vance.
Well, Tony was a tall man, about 6 foot. Yet a knife was plunged high in his back between the shoulder blades. You're tall, Mr. Martin. 6'2", you once told me.
That's right.
You were a chemist. You knew you had mixed a curious combination of combustibles for the matches in Miss Waite's apartment. You knew they burned with a green flame so that it would flatter her coloring. She probably asked you to do that.
Well, what if I did? What does that prove?
Nothing, except that anybody using those matches outside of this apartment would reveal himself as having been inside this apartment.
In order to get the match, of course.
Exactly, Markham.
Yes.
When Eddie Mills lit a match outside the door downstairs, the killer saw the green flame and fired. Then, lest the organ grinder had seen the shooting, it was necessary to dispose of him the next day.
But the organ grinder couldn't have seen the shooting. He was blind.
We found that out after the murders, Markham. And so did the murderer. That's why our killer has to be Miss Laura Waite.
I'm not as puzzled as I generally am when you wind up a case, Vance, because I went through most of it with you. But there are some things I'd like to know.
What, for instance, Markham?
Well, I realize that Laura Waite was the only person concerned in the murders who didn't know Tony was blind. That's what you said. But don't forget that Joe Egan, the hired killer, couldn't have known that either.
Egan had never been in Miss Waite's apartment. I believed him when he told me that. If he'd never been there, he couldn't have known about the green flame on the matches, could he? In fact, the only other person who could have known about the matches was John Martin.
And, of course, it was I who told you that Martin used to talk to the organ grinder the nights he came to visit Miss Waite, so he knew Tony was blind.
You helped me a great deal with that information, Markham. All the facts pointed to one big fact, that the killer was Laura Waite, who was tall enough and strong enough to have put the knife in Tony's back.
Yes, her confession proves you were right, Vance. She's reached the end of her murdering string now.
She's reached the end of her string, and we've reached the end of the hurdy-gurdy murder case.